Live. Uh,
That is your new favorite thing. You enjoy dancing to it more than
oh, I feel like I'm like this at this Italian little town type bistro, and yeah,
and you
it's
love Italian. I learned that
I do.
last week.
I do. I really, really do.
That's
How are you?
wonderful. Good. Welcome everybody to Takes One to Know One podcast with Jeremy and Shanny. I'm Shanny.
And I'm Jeremy, and we're
And we're
happy to be
gonna,
here.
yeah, we love you guys and we love
Life.
existing.
Yeah.
Life,
Yeah.
existence, and the pursuit of really good food
Of
and
good and in happiness and all of that
that too.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
That too. Oh my goodness. How was your week? Well, 4
Well,
days since we've
it's
recorded
it
last.
started it started out pretty good.
Okay.
It snowed today. I'm
Oh,
not I'm ready for snow to be done. I like it to be cold, so
yeah.
for more ice and
Yeah.
so for that aspect, but the snow I'm just not I'm not loving it anymore. It's like
Really, yeah.
it's time for it to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And but I have 3 weeks, God willing, until I head to Mexico, and I just can't wait. Cannot wait.
I'm jealous. I wish I could come. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
For me with snow, it's like Christmas, great. Day after
Yeah.
Christmas, go away. You don't belong anymore.
You get
Like,
snow down there? Or like in the mountains area, but like down below, do you? Or are you all up high? I
yes.
don't even know. I don't know the geography of
Yes.
Utah.
We're in the, we technically kind of live in the mountains, but we're actually surrounded by, we're like in a fishbowl of mountains. Like
Okay.
our valley where we live, it's actually really beautiful here, and they're just
Yeah.
every way you turn, it's mountains. But we are also very, very higher up than most people. So it's really
Okay.
dry. It's really dry here, but we're known for our skiing here. I've never been. I
Right.
have no coordination. I'm
So
not ever gonna.
you live in the bowl or you live up
I
top?
live in the bowl. I live in the
Oh,
bowl.
okay.
But like
Okay.
it's pretty close to a mountain. So Danny's family lives kind of at the base of one of the mountains. So they're kind of considered, you know,
Okay.
people
Okay.
build up into it a little bit. It's cool. It's pretty. If you ever come here, I think you'll love the mountains. It's really beautiful. Lots of
Yeah. Yeah, I
streams.
definitely want to come sometime. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Lots of fishing streams and hiking places and skiing if you like that sort of thing.
If you like that sort of
No,
thing, then
I would break everything. Like within 10 seconds, all my bones would be broken. I'm so uncoordinated. Are you?
no, I'm not uncoordinated. Well, when it comes to organized sports, I'm
Yeah.
terrible.
Okay.
Absolutely terrible. But as far as like being able to figure things out, like outside, like skiing, I started skiing when I was like 5. And
Oh,
so I
wow.
was able to do that, and then like water skiing the same. And
Mm-hmm.
I water skied when I was young, and then I didn't do it for a long time. And then a buddy from college was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, we're gonna go skiing, and you think you could do it?" And I had told him that I had never gone skiing before
Mm-hmm.
because it had been literally 20 years, and I'm like, no, I've never gone. Well, I went out and I got up first try, dropped the ski, and I'm like, it's like riding a bike.
What did he
So
say?
he goes, oh, you're full of shit. There's no way. He goes, I know you've been skiing before. And then I came clean. And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
it's been 20 years since I've been skiing. So I didn't think that it would be the same, you know? And so, yeah, it was kind of funny. It was crazy. Like, I was on a roll. I went up right away because we went out early in the morning when there's no boats out and it's just glass. And that's when it's the
Oh,
best to
oh
go.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
I've
was just
heard.
beautiful. And I was coming up to the side of the boat, and oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was magical. I mean,
Yeah.
I was glowing.
That's how it is with like jet skiing, which I do. If the
Okay.
water's like nice and glassy and smooth, oh,
Yeah.
it's so fun. So good.
Yeah.
Oh my
I've
goodness.
loved that. I haven't done that in a long time either. And I have a friend of mine who works in the town that I live in Winona, and he was the head cart guy at Menards, which is the the lumber store in town. And all of the he lived it with his parents, and all of the money that he would make would go towards his jet ski in the summertime. He would be
Nice.
out there in his dry suit in like as soon as the ice broke, just be out there just trying to, go
Yeah.
as much time as he could. So
Oh, it's so my stepdad owns two of them, and he has a timeshare for like a houseboat at Lake Powell. Have you ever been to Lake Powell or
yeah,
heard of it?
no, no, I, I
Gorgeous, like the reddest, like reddest mountains. This huge lake, tons of different
okay.
parking spots and stuff for your boats, and oh my gosh, it's
I
so
need
much
to
fun.
travel more.
But like, yeah, I know. But like when your jet ski like either breaks or needs a new paint job or something, it is ridiculous how much they charge. Like if
Yeah.
you're looking for a good job out there, get into fixing jet skis and painting them and smoothing them. They make it's so ridiculous how much they charge to fix
Oh, I
them.
bet. I
So
bet because
anyone
they
out
can.
there, yeah, because they
Yeah,
can.
because they
Because who else
can.
is going to do it? Nobody else
Right.
knows how. Yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, it's
We need to
fun.
get people to follow us on our
Yes.
pages. We need Takes One to Know One
Yes.
podcast on YouTube, on Instagram. You can follow Shanny's page on Instagram. She's trying to get to her 10,000 followers so that she
Yes.
can put links on her what do you call them? Her stories. She needs a link on her story.
Yeah, you can't do the thing where it's like, okay, swipe up until you have
Yeah,
10,000 followers. So
she needs to
guys,
swipe up. She wants
you
the
need to
swipe
swipe
up
up.
thing.
All I want
So
in life is just to swipe
let's
up.
let's get her there. Let's get her there. So is it educating
Thank
Shanny? What is it
you.
on
Educating
Instagram?
educating underscore Shanny.
Educating
Perfect.
underscore Shanny.
And on YouTube, I'm just gonna plug myself again.
Yeah, do it.
YouTube, YouTube is just educating Shanny. And I
Mm-hmm.
talk about mental health, eating disorder stuff, take you through the journey of losing my teeth and showing consequences of what eating disorders can do to you, and trying to normalize talking about mental health because everyone's so scared to talk about it. But really, so many people struggle. So that's basically what I do. And I also sing about poop, and I sing about anything. And I
Love it.
also just am really awkward. So come and
And
join.
that's what makes her so magical. And you can follow me on YouTube too. I just started
Yes,
Jeremy
good.
underscore Littell. I
Mhm.
just I tell jokes. I'm a joke
Yeah,
teller.
so good.
And then
So
like you can see me on TikTok. The majority of you that are gonna come see me already follow me on TikTok, I'm sure. Where I tell a lot of jokes, where I have my family, my friends, and everybody in there, and we're having a whole lot of fun. And we got to get Shanny back on TikTok doing some
I
duets and
know I
stuff
used
because
to do it a lot.
she wears some amazing, funny glasses all the time, and it's
Keep forgetting
awesome.
my
And she forgot them
glasses.
again.
I still have these here.
Yeah. All right. All right.
I'll you know what I'm gonna do? I have a window right here with blinds. I'm gonna make that a glasses holder. Never mind. I'll show you next week. You'll see.
All
It's
right.
gonna be
All
fun.
right.
And guess what else is happening next week, Jeremy?
What
Yeah,
else?
you're not gonna guess.
Guess?
I'll tell
I
you.
got a guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, there's supposed to be a tarantula parade in Arizona.
Wait, is
No,
that a real thing?
not even close.
Okay. Really,
Um,
almost there. You've got it.
almost there. There is a confetti convention over in Oregon next week.
Oh, that's close too.
Yeah,
No,
they're
I'm moving.
meticulously cutting up pieces of paper. I
Oh my
have
gosh.
no idea what's happening.
You're just always ready to go with the jokes. You're so funny. Oh my gosh. No, I'm moving my Christmas tree in here, but
Oh,
it's my year-round Christmas tree that we
oh,
haven't talked about yet that they know of.
the
You and I have
year
talked
round.
about it, but they
Yes,
don't. I have a
yes.
white Christmas tree in my kitchen and I decorate it year-round. So it's gonna go right there. And
Next to the 14-foot
yeah,
rose
and with the
opposite.
rose on the other, I figured that's appropriate for Valentine's Day, right? I
I
gotta leave.
it is. It
Yeah,
definitely is.
yeah. So I'll do a Valentine tree with hearts and stuff, and then I do a St. Patrick's Day tree, and then an Easter tree, and summer, and all the holidays. It's really, really fun. So
I love it. I love it. Are those butterflies back there?
yeah, those are some butterflies that I put in a shadow box about 15 years ago, and they're fake
They're real
butterflies.
ones?
No, they're fake. I just
Oh,
wanted it to look real, and, but they're clearly fake, so it looks really stupid. But I still love it because I love
oh,
butterflies.
I think they look magical. Yeah,
You think everything is magical.
yeah, kind of, kind of. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, what was the best part and worst part of your week since we last spoke?
Oh my gosh, it's only been a few days.
This
You
is
go
my third
first.
time. This is my third time asking Jeremy. You need to start coming prepared.
Well, the first two times were the same. They were the
Well,
same.
I'll just keep putting you on the spot. I'm really good at doing that. You're welcome.
Yeah, you are. But you need to
Yeah.
go first if
Okay.
you already know.
Well, I went to the ER last night, so that was not fun. But
Yeah.
but I'm feeling a little bit better today, so that's great. And I also just have loved connecting with some of your people and just getting back on the train of social media. It's a hard thing to keep up, and we do the best that we can. And I'm excited, and I'm excited to see
Yeah.
where this goes further. And I just love the people that are in my life. I have the most amazing people in my life, Jeremy. Just incredible. Like,
Yeah,
I'm so
love it.
lucky. I already have like a bajillion family members. And then I also have this online family. Just so many people that are just so cool and so supportive and just always there for each other. And just makes me so happy of all the times of the places. And I just could sing about it all day because I love them. So people.
I'm feeling you there. I'm feeling you.
Yeah, people are cool. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
good people out there.
All right. All right. Well, you got me thinking now and all right,
Okay.
my worst is my brother-in-law and sister-in-law had gotten into a car accident on Saturday night.
Oh no.
It was snowing and they had started out to go into town and they realized it was bad, so they turned around to go home and there was this car that was coming at them, so they pulled over on the side of the road and this car just kind of glides and hits them head on. And it deployed their airbags, and so that was kind of scary. I
Oh
don't know if it
my
totaled
gosh.
their vehicle, but it was pretty bad.
How fast were they
Um,
going? It was on the freeway?
um, it wasn't on the well. We don't have a whole lot of freeways around here. It was country
Oh,
roads mostly,
oh.
but it was on like a regular like highway.
Mhm.
And I think it hit him pretty hard. And from what I heard, the people that were in the car had a pretty long rap sheet, and it really wasn't a good thing. But they're okay, and so that's good. Um,
That's so
the
good.
the best thing, my daughter Brielle went back to preschool today, and
Oh,
she is just
I adore her.
she's just this little
Fireball.
person. Like it's like a little like adult. And I guess
Is
because
she?
Brittany had dropped her off and she's like, all right, I don't want you to be shy or anything. And Brielle just gets out and we can only walk them up to the stoop and then they have to walk up themselves and
Mhm.
then they get their temperature taken and they get hand sanitizer put on. So
Mhm.
Brittany's standing behind and I guess she hears the teachers saying, oh, hi Brielle, how are you? And Brielle's like washing her hands with the hand sanitizer and she's talking to him like everything's going okay and then like Brittany's like bye and I guess she just kind of like waved and just walked right on in and I asked her how her day was. She goes, oh, it was really good. We had a snack but I can't tell you what it is and I'm like, well, why? And that's her way of saying she doesn't remember, like I can't tell you. And
Okay.
I said, well, did you sing songs? And she said, well, yeah, we sang some songs and um she's like, but I can't tell you what they are. And it's just like, oh,
I love
okay.
that.
And then she's like, and I really want you to go to Quick Trip is like our it's our local
Grocery?
gas station around here. And she goes, "I really want you to go to Quick Trip and get me a donut because I had such a good day." And
I
it's just
love her.
she's just this little big person, and,
Wait,
like, she brings so
we
much joy.
we never posted about her potty training, so you need to tell how that's going. How's her potty training?
She's very stubborn. Brielle is very, very good at going pee on the potty. Like,
Mhm,
she will do it always,
mhm.
but we don't have any pants on her. We have nothing on for bottoms on her when she's at home
Yeah.
because she will go and we have to hide diapers. She will come up to you and give you a diaper and say, "Put this on because I need to go poop." She like is afraid of I don't know what it is. She's like afraid of the toilet and she just won't do it. And so she will go upstairs and put pants on, anything that she can put on so that
Yeah.
she can go to the bathroom in her pants. She knows full well what she is doing. And I don't know what it is, like what scares her. Like that, I have no idea. She just maybe likes the squishiness in her butt crack. I
So
just
she literally just puts on pants to poop in the pants
yes, yeah.
on
She has
purpose.
no problem going pantsless until and it's like
Yeah,
that something happened.
because she
And
put pants
she'll
on.
and it's so funny too, because she'll put them like a lot of times we don't catch it, and but we know it's because she'll go behind the couch and we have like some windows behind the couch, and we'll say, "Brielle, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just looking out the windows." "No, you're not. You're pooping." "No!" And then she gets so upset that what is going on, and it's like, Brielle.
Well,
And
can't you tell it's about to happen if she puts her pants on?
yes,
Or does she
like
just sneak them on without you
she'll
seeing?
sneak it. She'll
Gotcha.
go upstairs and it's pretty much already done. Like the deed is already done.
Yeah.
And it's like I have to constantly, I'm like, because she'll be sitting downstairs and then all of a sudden she starts running upstairs. I'm like, what are you doing? "Oh, I'm just gonna go upstairs." And
So
she's so articulate for her age too. It's just
I love that.
oh,
So so her wearing pants is always a bad sign,
oh,
basically.
you know what's happening. Yeah,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what's happening.
You
Yeah.
know she's about to shit her pants for real.
Oh, and then yeah, like if we give in and give her a diaper, it is just like flowing straight through. I mean, it'll be like 3, 4 of them. Yeah.
Wait, does it like drip down her leg in the
No.
pants?
Mm-mm,
How?
mm-mm. Well, it's
Just
not.
solids, I
Yeah, yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Holy
She's just.
hell.
Oh man, it's just crazy. But I'm hoping that she gets it because she knows. Like she has not peed in probably a year. But it
Crazy.
yeah yeah.
I
But
wonder what that is. Interesting.
I don't know
You'll
what
have
the fear is.
you'll have to ask her when she's older and try and figure it out or something.
Yeah, because
Gosh.
yeah, the boys were, and they're like, "Oh, girls are so much easier," and it's like, not this one,
Yeah,
not this
not this
one
one.
at all. No,
Who
but we
said
still
girls
love
are
her.
easier?
What's
Wait,
that?
rewind. Who said girls are easier to
I've
potty
had a
train?
lot of friends tell me that like girls are easier to potty train. They're more mature.
Oh,
She is not easier on any level of any kid that we have had.
yeah,
She's the meanest. She
yeah,
has the most um fierce personality. And that's what
yeah.
they even said at school. They said Brielle is very little in stature, but she is so fierce and she'll let you know and let you have it.
She's
So
so cute. You need to show
thank
them
you.
a picture of her little
Yes.
face. You can tell just by looking at her face that she is just this little spunky fireball,
Oh yeah.
confident, just
Oh,
awesome, you know? Just
and
full of heart.
nonstop singing all the time.
Love that about
Um,
her.
we have this ottoman. Did I tell this story? Where we have this ottoman in the middle of our living room, and like, have you ever seen Coco? The movie
Once,
Coco.
but I
So
don't
she
remember
loves
it.
Coco, she loves
Okay.
Shrek, she loves Frozen, and it will anyone anytime that any one of those movies are on, she will get up, stand up on the ottoman, and look around, and her arms go up, and it is a theatrical show. I mean, it is. You're gonna listen. This is what's gonna happen, and yeah, it's.
You need to film when that happens, Jeremy. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I get some of them, and she's a daredevil too. And I've gotten some of these videos where she'll stand on the ottoman and then try to jump to another little one that we have, and she'll just keep pushing it farther and farther. And I'm afraid she's just gonna just dive on her face one of these times.
I know, right? Well, does she do it when she's pantsless? Because that's dangerous.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She's it's a crazy house here.
Oh. Has she ever done it with the pants on while pooping?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
As far as I know, I don't know.
You just might not know. Let's be real.
Yeah.
She sounds fabulous. She's like my spirit sister. I need to meet her someday. She's fabulous.
She's one in a million. I'll tell you that.
I love it so much. So much. Well, I brought conversation cards.
Yes.
Go through them.
What are we conversing about?
And we want to start soon. We're trying to let everything happen naturally, but eventually, just so everyone listening knows, like, we really want to talk about serious things too. We want to keep having fun and laughing, but also talking about serious things, because Jeremy doesn't know a lot about mental health, and I don't know a lot about being happy.
Well, that's where we're the perfect match.
Exactly. So we're gonna help each other. Just kidding. But anyway, so if something comes up that you want to talk about that's serious, don't hold back. I don't either. But yeah, let's pick a conversation card and see what happens. Okay.
All right. Is this like tarot cards here or what?
No, they're just, I don't know, some sort of. Let's do
Act Naturally. I don't know why that song's in my head, but yeah.
These are hard though. You're not gonna like this.
Jeez.
You don't like being put on the spot.
Are they deep?
This, I don't know, it could be. Okay. What makes you unique?
What makes me unique?
I say we answer for each other.
Okay. All right. You go first.
One of these days you're going to have to go first, Jeremy. Start preparing.
All right.
I think what makes you unique is obviously you're super funny and you're really good at telling jokes, which I don't know how to do that. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you remember an entire super long joke and are able to tell it so
I need to stop you perfectly. There. I need to stop you there because, like, okay,
even if you cut, it's still good.
Oh, do you know like how when you were talking about on your story today and it took you 1 or 2 times to do it?
Yeah.
It usually when I do a joke, and John can attest to this. It can take me up to a half an hour to get one joke done. And so it's like we constantly we got to laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And so no.
I was going to say, is that why sometimes John is like, yep. John, want to hear a joke? Yep.
Yeah. It just, yeah. Well, so, and if you would watch them now, I do that part and then I cut it. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yep. And then I cut it. And then and then he doesn't have to do that again.
Do it. Right.
Yeah. And so
that's smart.
It can take forever.
I'm going to have to watch out for that. That's really funny. But I just think that your attitude in general toward life is really special. You don't meet a lot of people like you where you're very you're very outgoing. You're very caring about everything and always like wanting to learn and always wanting to grow and share and help people. And I don't know how you get everything done that you get done. You're a machine. Like, you run a company, you have children, now you have a podcast, you run your TikTok and other social media. I don't know how you do it all. You're amazing. And I just love your attitude and you saved my life. So that's pretty unique. Beat that.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. I would say that
you're a good person. It's just, you don't find people like you very often in the world. You're a good person. You should be proud of yourself, Jeremy, because I am.
Thank you. I would say that you're the type of person that don't give yourself enough credit with how good that you are. I think that you're very empathetic. And again, you feel what other people are feeling, and you're able to, like myself, you're able to kind of walk in everyone in their shoes, even though that you may not have experienced what they've experienced. You can still be like, I feel how you're feeling at this point in time. And not a lot of people are able to do that. Like when my mom passed away and people were, oh, I'm sorry, I know how it feels. And it's like, well, no, you really don't. Everyone's situation is completely different. But I feel like
Yeah.
you're able to empathize with that person on, they're telling you how you feel, how they feel, and you can kind of feel that with them. And I feel like you can experience people's ups and people's downs, and be able to work with people's emotions, and like you're a good caretaker on that way. So I mean
Jeremy, you're so sweet. That just made my
so,
day. You're the best. I pretty much just tricked you into being nice to me though, because I went first. And I was like, hey, I'll do it for
no,
Jeremy, so he'll do it for me.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that anyways. I knew what I was gonna say. So
You're
even if
so
I had to
nice.
go first.
You're so nice. Do you want to attempt to go first on the next one, Jeremy?
Let me
This
have
one
it.
I this one I feel like you can, because I feel like you've told me this, but I forget what it is. What irrational fear do you have?
Ah,
Haven't we talked about this? But I
it
can't
is
remember.
so irrational. It is and I have had this fear my entire life, and I don't know where it came from or how it happened.
What was it?
It's crazy.
What is it?
You think? Well, I told it to you. Take a guess. I
I
want.
can't remember.
Oh,
I don't remember.
it's crazy. My most irrational fear is the fear of walking up steps, falling, and biting my tongue off.
You have told me that. Hold on a second. Hold on.
That is so weird. Like who has that? Like every time I walk up steps, every single time that crosses my
Jeremy,
mind.
Jeremy, you
Yeah.
need therapy for that. Jeremy, wait. Every time you go on the stairs, you think of that?
Every time I walk up the steps, I
So dramatic.
think, oh, this could be it.
Oh
I
my
could be
God.
walking up these steps, and so it's like I make a mental note to keep my mouth closed so
Yeah.
that I don't fall. So if my mouth is closed, I will not fall and
Yeah.
bite my tongue off.
I do.
That
When
is,
there's, the stairs that don't have like a backing to the
yep,
step,
yep.
those freak me out. Those give me anxiety. I hate those. But I don't think I've ever thought about biting my tongue off, but I
It's so
probably would
weird.
now every time I use
That's a
this.
see that's irrational though. That I would think that's the most irrational fear that someone could have.
Do you know where it might have come from? Did you fall when you were little and bite
Uh-uh.
your tongue or something?
No, I have never really, like my sons have, like one of them had bit his tongue like so bad, like it was almost went all the way through. I have never had anything like that happen. I have I have been I've never broken a bone. I had a surgery on my neck. It was called a thyroidal duct cyst. And so I had
Oh,
a cyst taken out of my neck, but I have never been, well, outside of my vasectomy. That's another story that we'll have to tell, which is
oh, I
crazy
didn't know you had a
wild.
vasectomy. Yes, we need to hear that.
And but I had never, like there's nothing that has ever happened to me where I was hurt and I needed, medical assistance. And
I wonder, because I'm thinking about my irrational fear and I know where it comes from. So maybe it's the same for you. My irrational fear is that if I fall asleep, I have a couple. One is the slapstick bracelets, the
yeah.
one that you hit and it
Yep.
wraps around you.
Yep.
I can't do those. Those freak me out. The other one, though, is if I sleep with my hands behind my head, for those that can't see, I have this irrational fear that spiders are going to crawl into my armpits and make a web. And then when I wake up in the morning, I go like that, and then they bite me and I die. And through years of therapy and repressed memories, I remembered that my dad would tell us that story right before we were going to go to bed. And so now I know where that's from. So maybe somebody told you a story that it happened and it freaked you out so much that,
I
maybe
have no idea. I
I
have
don't know.
no clue. It's just yeah, and I like I'm very open about that. And like people will ask me like, "What's your biggest fear?" And that's like, and then I'm like, "That's pretty much my only fear."
Yeah,
And they're
that's
like,
true.
"What the heck?" They're like, "Well, that's a good fear to have because chances of that happen are pretty
Not
slim
gonna
to none
happen.
unless
Yeah.
you just yeah."
What if it
But it'll
happened?
watch it happen to me. And my tongue just laying there
What
twitching.
if
And I'm
it
like,
did?
oh,
Oh, that would be your tongue just twitching. Just like
oh
flapping
man.
on the ground,
Yeah,
just
it's like
waiting for you to come back. Oh no.
terrible.
Isn't that
Oh,
horrible of my dad though? Can we just talk about that real quick? Like,
yeah.
why would you tell your children that story? So parents out there, don't tell traumatizing stories to your children
Oh, I've
right before they go to bed.
traumatized I've traumatized all three of my kids.
But you do it in a fun way, don't you? Or
No,
do you? Oh,
no, this mask. It's actually right here.
no.
I'm
Oh
picking
no.
up this mask that I have. So it's an old man mask. You can
Stop
see.
it.
So can you see it? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I can
yeah.
see it. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it's there. Come on. I'm not
It
being able,
looks
I'm not
like
can't show it very well. But anyways, it's like a wizard mask. There you go. So I put this on. So I've had it for probably 8 years. And I put that on. Well, I've had it for 9 years. I know I have because I wore it. I wore the outfit for Anthony's birthday. He was born October 27th, 2011, and I wore it for Halloween while I was holding him, and he was a little pumpkin. He
okay.
was fine then,
Okay.
but then anytime I would put it on after he was like a year old, he'd freak out. And I
Mhm.
realized that kids have a um, instinctive nature when they get deathly afraid to get to the lowest point possible and lay completely still. And I did not know
Okay.
that this was an instinctive feature until Dominic, when I was wearing it one Halloween and I came out into the garage and he saw me and he dropped to the to the floor of the garage and laid completely flat. He spread his arms and his legs out as flat as he could and he just laid there and did not make a sound or nothing. And I'm just like, "Oh my
Like
gosh, I
frozen,
just."
like paralyzed?
Oh
Like
yeah,
frozen?
like
Oh
it
my
was like
gosh.
instinctive to just get to the lowest point possible and not move. And I'm
Oh my
just like, "Oh
goodness.
my gosh, I just scared the crap out of my kids." Well,
Yeah,
then there was a mat like I don't know if you've seen on I don't even know if you go on Facebook that often or not, but
once in a while.
around Halloween time, there were these masks that they had that they were selling that were like looked completely real, like an old man mask or like all of these different kinds of masks. Well,
Mhm.
the masks that they were showing on these ads on Facebook were probably $2,500 masks. I mean, to the point where they were fitting your face completely. And I'm
Like what
like,
Danny makes. Like what Danny makes.
yeah, yeah,
He's done
like it
that
would
before.
look
Yeah.
so real. And so I'm like, $30? Hell yeah, take my money. So I get this and it comes to my house, and you see that one right there. It
Yes.
was like that, except it didn't even have the lips cut out. It looked completely terrible. So I put it on. Brielle freaked to the point where she wouldn't come by me for 3 days. And
Oh no.
she's like,
Oh.
"Daddy, where's the mask? Don't wear the mask." Because I have an elf costume. You know
Oh.
Elf?
Yeah,
You
of
know, yeah.
course.
So I
That's
wear
even
Elf
better.
for Halloween. So she's like,
Yeah.
"Dad, you're gonna be Elf. You're not gonna be the old
Oh.
man." And then I'm like, "Well, what should we do?" She goes, "We need to throw it in the garbage." And I said, "Do you want to throw it in the garbage?" She goes, "No, you throw it in the garbage." So I went
Oh.
and threw it in the garbage, and she watched me, and she says, she goes, "Dad, take it outside." She did not want it, and so I've
Oh, I love
traumatized
her.
all three of my kids with scary masks, and I feel somewhat
Oh,
terrible.
Jeremy. Yeah, it's okay. When they get older, you can explain and try and
Yes, but good thing they were young, really young, so it
I'm
won't
just
happen again.
she is smart for her age. If she was younger than she is now and she was able to remember the mask the next year for her to be
Oh,
like,
I think she might.
yeah,
Oh,
like
I
she's
think
smart.
she will say, "Dad, you're gonna be Elf again." That's what she'll do.
Yeah,
Her eyes
yeah,
will get all big. She'll go, I think you're gonna be Elf again. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah." Yeah,
She's so
yeah,
cute.
that will be her.
Gosh. Are you ever gonna bring your kids on here to say hi
I can't
some
know. They
point?
would love it. They would
They would?
absolutely oh my gosh.
Oh, I would love
Yes.
it. I
Yes.
love kids. Kids are great.
So did I interrupt you or did you during something that we were talking or
Not that
I
I
don't
remember, but I
okay.
have the memory of a goldfish, so
Well, I don't remember like I thought you were saying something. Was this
we
was
were
the
gonna talk we were gonna talk about your vasectomy. What's that about?
Oh,
I might have to get a
wow.
full hysterectomy, by the way, so that sucks.
So my vasectomy, it
When
was
did you do it?
crazy. I did a whole TikTok series on this. I did it actually it was 3 years ago, like two in the middle of December.
Are these like your old videos from back when?
I just did this series like 3 weeks ago. But anyways,
Oh, I'll go check it out. But yeah,
it
tell us.
was someone said they said, tell me something that a doctor said to you that was completely inappropriate. And this is how the series started. So I get there, and it was the first consultation. And Winona is a big college town where we have a lot of doctors and nurses.
Mhm.
And um, I went in, and she said, I have a couple of students here. Do you mind if they're here for the consultation? And I'm just like,
Oh no.
all
Oh
right,
no.
yeah, whatever,
That's
fine,
good.
because I'm already, I was just like, I'm gonna get it done anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I take off. They leave the room, and I put on like the gown, and I'm laying up on the table. I felt like, all right, so this is what it's like when a woman goes and sees a gynecologist. Like this is gonna be pretty up
Oh
close
no.
and personal.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm laying down. She comes in, and her two students come in, two female students,
Oh,
nurses that are,
that's awkward. Okay.
and I'm laying there, and I. It wasn't like her sticking her hand underneath the gown, flips it right up, grabs a hold of my balls, and says, "Well, isn't this every man's dream to have have a woman have your testicles in her hand with three women in the room?" And I'm like,
That's so
not in this
inappropriate.
situation.
What if what if
so
what never
so
mind.
yeah, and I'm just like I didn't really know how to respond to that. I mean, that's what I said. I said, not in this situation. And she goes, yeah, probably not. And so she goes on to, she's like speaking out loud, like, well, everything feels right, correctly, this and that. You look like a great candidate for this operation, da 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 da. Well, then I go back a week later, 2 weeks later, and I go in for the actual operation, and
Yeah.
everything went fine.
Yeah.
Um, she gave me some like pain meds. I had uh, like frozen peas and corn at home for about 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Good, fine.
Yeah.
I go in a week later, and I go see a nurse, and the nurse says, all right, I need to look at the incision to see if everything's healing up all right and just check everything over. And so she does, and she gives me the cup to, test. She says,
Mm.
here's your cup, gives me the instructions, and then says the doctor will be in to see you. I said, well, why's the doctor be coming to see me if you said everything looks all right? Here's the cup. She
Right.
goes, the doctor needs to see you.
Oh man. Oh, I'd be
So
freaking out. I'd
So
be
yeah,
like, do
I'm
I
freaking
have
out,
cancer?
and I'm already deathly afraid of doctors because my mom was a hypochondriac, and she would bring
Yeah.
us in for absolutely everything.
Oh man.
And so I'm like, I'm dying. See,
Mhm.
I have more stories about
Yeah,
me dying.
I love it. I mean, not that
Funny
you're
ones,
dying, but
hilarious stories.
same.
So she comes in about 10 minutes later, and I'm just basically sweating, and she says, Jeremy, out of my 25 years in practice, this has never happened. I didn't cut back far enough on your vas deferens, and you have 2 vas deferens. One of them, she cut back far enough, the other one had, like, some scar tissue, so she didn't cut back far enough. She couldn't explain what the scar tissue was from, it could have been before childbirth, it could have been from anything. But
Mhm.
anyways, we have to redo the surgery. And
Oh my
being and being that there was already trauma in the area,
yeah.
she said, "It's gonna be worse. The healing time is gonna take a little bit longer." And
Mhm.
she says, "When can you schedule to do this?" And I said, "Oh, shoot, let's do it right now." Well, obviously we couldn't do it now, so we waited another week. Well, I went in another week and we did it. And it was 10 days of the worst pain that I mean,
Ugh.
I had 5 I had 5 bags of peas and corn that I lived with for
Oh.
22 hours out of the day. And I
Oh.
read and they gave me, like, Percocet and some, like, Tylenol 500 or whatever, and the first time they gave it to me, and I didn't even use all of it. Well,
Yeah.
the second time, they had given me the same amount of meds, and I ran out, and I called, and I told
Yeah.
them, and they're like, "Well, sir, we don't want you to get addicted," and I said, "You don't even," I said, "Look up my look what happened." And
Yeah.
they're like,
Fine.
"Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
here you go, here's a double."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
So
my god.
so, yeah,
Well,
that was my vasectomy story,
I
and
was
it
about I was about to say to you, it's really we as women really appreciate when the man gets the vasectomy because that's an easier surgery than hysterectomy, but not for you. I don't
no,
know. Hysterectomy
no.
might have been easier.
Oh, it was
Aw,
just it was crazy, but,
you're
I
right.
mean, I'm good now, everything's fine, um, but it's the other thing now is, like, there's, like, things that are happening with Brielle that are things that are never gonna happen again, like,
Yeah.
stuff like where, even, like, being potty trained, things like going to school, things like being able to do certain things that we're at the last stage, and it's like,
And it's your
I
turn.
I didn't want it. I wanted to have another one. We
Yeah.
both she only wanted to have 2, and then she's like, "I'll give you your 3rd." And then it's like, I'm still thinking, "Oh, well, we could maybe have another," but we're thinking of possibly adopting at some point as well.
I was
But,
gonna ask.
it's,
Yeah.
no, it was crazy, but now it's just a story to talk about. Like, I could scare the hell out of guys that are gonna go and
Right.
get it done, and I love that.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that too. Your children are beautiful.
Thank
So,
you.
do you wanna make me one?
I can't. Yeah,
Why? Oh, shoot.
yeah. We just talked about that. Wow. I'm gonna start calling you Dory.
Ah, that's true. That's who I am. I'll be doing a live stream and I'll see all these people be like, "Yes, yes," and I'll be like, "Yes, what? I
What
forgot
was
what
I
I asked
talking
you
about?
a
Yeah.
second ago."
Just keep swimming.
Oh my goodness, it's horrible. Oh, well, enjoy these last years with her then. I don't,
Well, these last years,
I
she's
mean,
3.
what I
She's
mean is enjoy your last young
young,
raising a
yeah.
child. Unless
Our
stopped.
last first, it's like our first and last.
Yeah, it's
Her
like your
first
best
and our
first.
last.
Yeah, her first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know what I
But
mean.
everyone tells me though, like once you like push through it and get past those, then you're like, okay, now I'm ready to be at different stages of their life, and like when they grow up to be teens, and you want and it's good to, you really embrace that part of their life
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, I wish you were still doing this and I wish you were still
Mhm.
doing that. And so
Oh,
like,
I
because
can't wait for you to have teenagers, Jeremy. That's gonna be a
oh,
magic.
the cool thing is they will not be able to get me. Like, I
Mm.
have done so many bad things in my life
Yes, but
that
you didn't have smartphones and Googles and social media. You didn't have any of that when you were a teenager.
but I
Like,
have cameras all over my house. And I
yep.
have and the cameras and they think They think I have way more cameras than I do.
Smart, smart. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so
Save
and like the technology, like, yeah, we didn't have that as kids, but we have it now, and I know how to use it now, and I
Yeah,
can use it to my advantage. Like,
yeah.
I can put trackers on their phones without them even knowing. I
Mhm.
got trackers on my vehicles. I can know everything, and it's like I can't wait until I let them go out and I want to just let them try and get away with a lie. And I just want them just to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into that lie.
And you're gonna
And
know.
then
Yeah.
just bring up all of the data that I have and just say,
Oh my
take a look. Take a look.
kids, I've been
Yeah.
following you the whole time.
That
Just
that happened that happened with Dominic the other day. No, this was like a couple months ago.
does he have
Um
a
no, no, they don't have a phone, but
oh, okay.
we have a camera in our living room.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm completely taking this all over right now, and,
I love it.
yeah,
This is so fun.
okay.
I love your
So,
stories.
we we have this camera in our living room, and there's this game called Piggy that's on a computer, and it's a scary, like, video game where you're like this pig or whatever, and there's this old grandma that's trying to come find you and kill you or whatever. And I've never really watched it that often,
That sounds
hardly
wholesome.
hardly at all. Well, we have this camera in our living room, and um, I went downstairs and I saw that the on the computer that the game was up, and I went upstairs and I said, "Who was playing that game? You guys weren't supposed to play that game." And they're both like, "Well, nobody. I don't know how it got up." I said, "Okay." And I went and looked at the camera. And Dominic, he goes, "Hey, do you want to go downstairs and play Piggy?" And Anthony's like, "Well, we're not supposed to." "Well, it'll be okay. We could go down." And Dominic, as he's whispering, goes up and turns the camera around as he's saying this. And he's 6. And I'm just like,
You
oh
can
my
still hear
goodness.
'em. Did they not
Oh,
know that you can still hear them?
they no, I don't think they know all. They don't know. They're still too young. They don't know all about it.
Oh,
And
that's cute.
so I went right away because I can look at it all on my phone, and I looked at it, and I brought so I when you have kids, you have to interrogate them separately.
I've heard.
So I bring Anthony in, and he's like, Anthony cannot tell a lie. He is the perfect kid. You tell
Yeah.
him to go to bed, he goes to bed. He's
Aw.
so good in school. He does absolutely everything, and he's super sensitive. Everything that you want him to do. And I go, "What happened?" He said, "Well, we went downstairs and played piggy," and he told me everything that happened.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Okay." And I said, "Well, you know, you guys are in trouble, and you can't play on the computer for a while." And he says, "Yeah, I know, and we shouldn't have done it." And he apologized.
Yeah.
And then I bring him down. "I don't know what happened. I didn't do it. Nothing. No, 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 no." And I said, "So you're telling me that you didn't go downstairs and play that game?" "No, Anthony did." I said, "Oh." And I said, "Well, were you down there with him?" He says, "Well, I went down there." And I said, "Well, whose idea was it?" He says, "It was his." I said, "No, that's not true. And I'm going to let you try and rectify this and tell me the truth." And he wouldn't tell me. Like, he refused to tell me. And I said, "Dominic, I know the truth." And he just wouldn't do it. And then I gave him the phone, and he looked, and I just played it. I gave his face turned so white. And then he just all out just bawled, freaked out
Oh,
because he's like,
he's
"Oh my
been
gosh."
caught. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I was
No.
completely caught, and then it's just like I felt like I was in the, the video of like Shaggy. It wasn't me because he was still like, "It wasn't me," and it's like, are you? dude, you are going to be in some major trouble when you get older. But ever since then, I knew the camera thing has worked. I will just tell, all I have to do is say, Dominic, I have a camera there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. Nice. Perfect. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So,
Dude, yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I was going to ask you something and now it left my mind. Oh, how do you not laugh when you're punishing them? I couldn't do
oh
it. Every time
man.
I babysit my niece and nephews, I laugh and I can't because they're so funny, but they're doing something wrong. So you have to punish,
Oh,
so hard.
there are times like there's times that I have to just go and compose myself. Because there's times
Yeah.
where I was a manager. I was a assistant manager at a camp up
Hmm.
in northern Minnesota at a Christian camp, and we would have not a whole lot. We'd have like 100 kids that would come in, and we'd have high school kids, and then they would get in trouble, and they would just do the stupidest things that I would think would be hilarious.
Yeah.
And back then, I was kind of built, and I would the like deans of the camp would because I'm like stumbling across here. So I was camp staff, but then they would have deans that would be in charge of the whole camp, and I wasn't really part of the disciplinary action. But
Okay.
when things would get bad, they would want me to go in and scare these kids and just like, what are you doing? No, 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 no. And just like, and it was so hard for me to do that I would have to just like hype myself up, like, okay, you gotta go in and act like you're this angry person when
Yeah.
it's hard for me to even get angry. Um,
Yeah.
but like with my kids, it's they both, well, actually all three of not Brielle so much. The boys, Dominic hides it. Anthony is an open book, but they are all so sensitive. So all I have to really say to them is, I'm really disappointed, and it's
Yeah.
just
Oh.
Dominic will just like he shuts down. He just like that's what it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and Anthony will just like sometimes he's over dramatic. Like the other day, something he spilled something on the count. Well, no, he was like coloring on the counter and it was going through. And I said, "You need to watch what you're doing with that Sharpie. You're going through." And
Sorry. It's trying to scare me again. Sorry.
No, not trying.
That scared me when you turned off the light and then you went up to the crack and was.
I didn't turn it off. No, it was on.
Oh,
I just
sorry. Let him hold on. Okay,
Sorry.
finish your story.
Sorry.
So Anthony was like going through on the countertop, and I'm like, "You need to watch what you're doing." I said, "We can't. That Sharpie's gonna wreck the counter." And I said, "That thing's worth more than your life." And he just like, "So you're telling me that this counter is worth more than my entire life? So if I was to die, that would just you wouldn't even care?" And I said, "Yes, at this point, yep, that's exactly how I am." And he just threw everything in the air. And he went upstairs, and Brittany turns around. She goes, "You need to go talk to him." Like, if he's that sensitive right now, I said he's going to be killed on the playground.
Wait,
So,
is he the older one or the younger brother?
yeah.
He's the oldest. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so cute. That's so funny. Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Just wondering what your dinner plans are.
Oh,
we have
do you
stuff here.
want to talk for a minute while I go pee?
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
My,
all right. Shanny's
Bromance.
got
Bromance.
pee.
Enjoy each other. Be good.
All right, we'll enjoy it.
Can't hear anything. He's trying
It'll
to
be magical. I'm liking that shirt.
You like that shirt? It's a fun one, huh?
Yeah, it's
Little
nice.
Spider-Man. Jeez. Shoot.
How was your day?
There we go. My day was pretty good. No, my day was not that good. But,
It was good, but no.
yeah, so it was a rocky start.
Yeah.
And the theme of my day was I guess I need to learn more patience because every little cotton picking thing, I swear, just wanted to take a little bite out of me today. So
yeah,
that's how it rolled. So I just tried to breathe and tried to just make it here and now. And now I'm here and now. So that's good.
It's crazy because some of those days, and I've had them too, where you just wake up and something will happen, and then you'll just like, all right, yeah, that's fine, and then another thing will happen, and you're just like, you just look up and you're like, why? What
Yeah.
the heck? Yeah,
What did I do wrong? I thought, did I do something bad?
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, yes.
But
I've had those days a lot lately because I've been just like trying to judge juggle like family time, work time, and like social media. Like social media for me now
Mhm.
has become a full-time gig.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, I
And
was going to ask you, how are you juggling those two? Because you've got the business going, and then you've got, like, for Shanny, it's easy. This is what she does. Like,
right.
she doesn't
Yeah.
have to worry about, you know,
It's
whatever,
it's
not to blame her or anything. Sorry, my head's all weird.
it's
But anyway,
been crazy. I have a very good team on the business. Like with at the jerky company, I have a very good team. Like John is my vice president, and Chris is my sales manager, and then I've got my warehouse, and then the online guy. My job is to pretty much figure out whether or not like we're making good deals to get some like the best pricing, and so that we can and be competitive in the market. And so they do a lot of the work, and then they just bring the finals to me,
okay,
and then we talk about it. But for me, I spend like for content creation, I spend probably 3 to 4 hours a day just watching other videos and researching other videos to try and stay, you know, current with
sure,
things that are going on in today's world, to be able to try and create things like that. And
right,
I just never, I never thought I'd get to this point,
right,
where it would be, a full-time gig. And now I've like where I have brands that are wanting me to, collaborate and promote for them as well. And so I have to make sure that I make a quality video for them.
sure,
The good thing is that I talked about with a buddy of mine is, I don't know, probably even as far as close, I guess, as 5 to 6 years ago, YouTube videos had to be like top notch. People wanted like crystal clear,
oh yeah,
like a very well put together video.
right,
Since TikTok has come along, TikTok is more raw footage.
yeah.
If you put together an amazing video on TikTok, it probably won't get a lot of views.
I've noticed that. In fact,
Yeah,
I've found, and I'm not a big TikToker, but the things that I have seen is like the quality stuff looks like it doesn't belong there
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
like too quality. Like, oh, I don't. This must be a commercial or some big money's behind this kind of thing. It just doesn't
yeah,
feel like it belongs on that platform. But then when you see that raw stuff, you're like,
yeah.
this is a TikTok
And it
because
just gets
it's
views
just
and
that
views and
simple. Yeah,
views.
yeah,
And that's what's crazy about it. And so like, I mean, I'll do skits. Like last night I did a skit where I had my wife say, I don't know what Jeremy's doing, but check this out. And I was standing on a scale, and I was sticking my stomach in and out. And she goes, and this was a skit that I saw online, and she said, yeah, I don't think that's helping you lose weight. And I laughed and said, no, but it's the only way that I can see the numbers. And it's doing really well.
yeah,
But again, when I try and do like a well thought out
yeah,
something, it does not do well. And what I'm getting at is now YouTube and Instagram and all of them are trying to bring like the short videos, and are trying to bring the stuff that TikTok has brought out
right,
onto their platform. And so for me, that helps like a
sure,
lot, because I don't have to have all the editing software and like the high def like cameras and all of
right,
those extra things. And it's just, yeah, it's been good. But again, it gets tight. And then family life. Like I
oh
have
yeah.
3 kids under 10 and a wife, and
I don't know.
it's
I don't know how anybody does any of this kind of stuff with kids. I can't like we obviously we want kids, but I'm like, do we want kids?
yeah,
Because I'm always out doing stuff and you're
right.
always doing stuff like where does the kid fit in? And where does that, I'm sure those sacrifices come naturally to make it happen. but it's got to be that conscious choice of like, I just can't be out in the shop all day building or whatever,
Right.
because
Right.
that's what I do for a job or whatnot.
But the cool thing is your kids will want to do what you do, and it's something as like a social media type thing. Kids are already my boys watch YouTube nonstop, and if they can be a part of it, oh man, that just makes their entire day.
Blows their little minds out.
Oh yeah, and they tricked me yesterday. They tricked me, and I don't know what they were watching or whatever, but they've wanted a Nintendo Switch for a year.
Okay.
And a lot of what kids will do on different social media platforms is they ask how many likes for me to get something.
Sure.
Seen that?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah, and so my boys, they're like, "Oh, we want to do a joke," and I'm like, "All right, well, if it's dumb, I'm not going to post it." And so Dominic was in here watching something with me, and they come in, and Anthony says, "We have a question for you," and I'm like, "All right." He says, "How many likes for a Switch?" And I thought he said Twitch, and I said, "Yeah, I'm probably not going to go on Twitch. I've had a lot of friends," and he goes, "No, how many likes to get a Nintendo Switch?" And I'm just like, "Oh man." So I'm like, "I don't know," and I said 70,000 likes, and they're like, "Oh, that's a lot," and they're up to 20,000 now.
Oh,
and
boy.
They're like, "Well, how long until we can get it?" And I said, "Well, it can go on forever until you guys, until it actually happens." But
yeah,
it's for them to be able to be a part of any type of social media that we're doing, that just makes their day, and it actually helps to be able to involve your whole family. So
yeah. No, I'm sure. Yeah, bring them all in, and then
right.
more stuff. We back to your point of not the quality going down, but the quality going down that you need to put into stuff. Shanny experienced that too. I mean, we were busting out these like her first videos were super crisp, and the sound is perfect, and she's editing every single little portion to make really quality video. I was doing lighting for it, like I'm setting up actual film lights and stuff to make her look awesome. And it's just because that's what we do, and that worked real good. And then we noticed like, hey, no one's watching these, no one cares. But when you do your raw stuff, just straight upload or her live stuff, everybody watches. It's like, well, what happened? Where was that change? But I mean, who cares? It works. So
yeah, like there's this kid. I don't remember Ryan. Have you heard of Ryan on YouTube? He's like an 8-year-old boy.
Okay.
He is the number one person on YouTube, like the highest paid person on YouTube, and all he does is plays like with toys and plays video games and does crafts.
I have heard of Ryan. Like you almost not tutorial, but review.
Yeah.
Stuff, right? He just plays with things.
And
they just get crazy reviews about it.
Oh, and now he has all of his own like merch and stuff that he sells, and my kids love him. And it's just like all this kid does is play.
Yeah.
And so like I would even say, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, 6 years ago, if you were in school and the teacher says, "Well, what do you want to do?" "Well, I want to be a YouTuber." They'd be like, "Well, you better take a good hard look at that." Well, now it's like, I would actually, up until I started doing TikTok, I would say that to my kids too. Like, there's no way you're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like, man, if you can do it, do it. And if I can help you do that, that would be, I mean, just awesome. Because you're doing what you love, and you see the fruits of your labor because you are connected with your following, and they will leave you messages all the time.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Whether it be good or bad.
Right. Yeah.
Hear it. Yeah.
There's always that going on, So.
Right. Exactly. But no, it's good stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thanks for talking and chatting.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too, dude. Dinner, what are we doing? Pizza here? Pizza? Want pizza? Bye-bye.
Hi.
Hi.
Look at what I found when I went upstairs.
Oh, I got one of them.
Yay.
Yep.
This
Nice.
set, it's a little bracelet. What do you call these? Rubber bracelets?
Yeah, I think they're just rubber wristbands.
Yeah.
Wristbands. Yeah.
And it
It's kind of like
says,
a snap bracelet.
yeah. And it says kickassbeefjerky.com, which is Jeremy's beef jerky company. And then on the other side, it says hashtag #kickasslife. And I love it.
And then on the underside that you can't really see, it's raised up. It says it's just that good.
I didn't notice till now.
And then
There's more.
here's even the best part of it. If you shut the lights off, it glows in the dark.
Stop. Do you have to charge it first?
Well, it's charge it. Well, yeah, if you have your regular lights on, yeah. Yeah. So now when you go have late night poops, you don't have to turn the light on.
You've got it all figured out, Jeremy.
That's the reason why I made it glow in the dark for late night poops.
Did you really?
No.
Wait, what made you make? Was it just an option? And
it was just an option, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that'd be cool.
That's cool. I need to do merch. You need to help me do my merch going. I
I'm not
don't
that
understand.
I'm not that good.
You're not? Oh.
No, I'm actually working on it though. I want to find an acronym that has a double meaning. And I believe that a lot of people that do that, it really helps. There's
What about yam?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite funny words.
You are magical.
Yeah, but no, like the JT way. So the guy, his name is JT.
Justin
And
Timberlake?
no, he's actually from Utah. He's from Salt Lake.
JT, yeah. I know
JT Labor. And the name of his is the JT way, which is just think. Just think before you talk, think before you say anything. And so what his has a meaning to it. I have another one, a friend of mine that I don't want to say it all out loud, but his is a GFC. And it started out with Good Friends Club, but then it's Get Effed C is the other part of it. Like if you're just mad at one, I mean, so it's got the double meaning, and it's going off like crazy. So I want to have something where it shows who I am, but then it has another meaning that people that are wearing it can be like, yeah, this is what it really means, kind of thing. So
what are your initials?
What's that?
What are your initials?
JCL. So I don't know.
Just because love. I'm
just thinking of it. So it'll be soon. But what I want to do is get in with a fulfillment center where they basically run the website. Everything goes to them. Like they'll make like tumblers like these with that. And then they pay me at the end of the month based on how many of them sold. So I don't have to buy inventory,
That's cool.
So yeah, like I'm talking to this one company and it's like, they'll give me $5 a shirt. Which I'm not in the business of selling clothing or anything. I make content, but every little bit helps. And so if they can do all of the work, run the website, do the promoting, that would really, really be cool.
Yeah. I so want to do Shanny fanny packs.
Yes.
People have been asking for years.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Shanny fannies. Have I ever told you about the fanny thing? Did we already talk about that?
No.
Okay. Oh, so they started calling themselves Shanny fannies, right? Like I don't call them that because I think it's weird to think of them as fans, but they call themselves Shanny fannies or Danny fannies. And so one day I was doing a live stream and this girl from England came on. She's like, hey, do you even know what fanny means? And I was like, yeah, it means butt, which is funny. And she's like, in other countries, it means vagina. And I said, I said, okay, well, then you're either my Shanny butts or you're my Shanny vaginas. So I also merch someday of like hashtag Shanny vagina or hashtag,
JJ Shanny vajayjay.
And I had no idea until she told. I had no idea, and I had been saying for years, "Hi, Shanny fannies," no idea. Until then, it
Love
was
it.
really funny. I love
That,
it. So I really want to do some merch and get
oh yeah.
packs because fanny
And
packs are coming back in style.
they are.
Yeah.
Oh, hugely. Like when I go to Mexico, everyone is wearing them. So they'll either, well, it's
Like
like
over
the
the
young,
chest, right? Have you seen that? They like wear
no,
it like this over the chest. It's really
okay.
popular for guys,
I've
especially.
seen, I've seen like the 21 to 30-year-olds will wear it on the outside
Mm-hmm.
around their waist, and then the older crowd will wear it but underneath, so you can't
Yeah.
see it.
Oh,
And
really?
but it's been huge. Like, yeah, it's something big. So
Wear it underneath so like your clothes bulge out then?
yeah, yes. I don't know, like it looks like one of those what do you call it, colonoscopy bags or something.
Yes. An ostomy bag just
Yeah,
hanging out
yeah.
under there.
Yeah.
Those are great. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's
Oh,
good.
so yeah, here's another story of me like dying where I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
This was it was so and I remember this vividly. I think Anthony was probably 2 years old,
Anthony's the oldest, right?
the oldest. Yeah.
Okay.
So this would have been 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I have 4 moles in the back, right below my neck. And they're kind of like diamond shaped, like, yeah, kind of like a diamond shape.
Okay.
And one of them it got bigger. And I'm like freaking out. Like I told John that I work with and my best friend, vice president, I told him,
Yeah.
I said, John, because I immediately I go and start searching on the internet. What's going on? What is this? And I'm taking pictures with my phone
Yeah.
and I think I have melanoma and
Mm-hmm.
it's inside my body and I'm dying. And I need to start I need to start making videos to my kids
Oh no, Jeremy.
so that like telling stories, reading stories so that when I die, they can remember me. And because I was looking like how long it takes until you actually die for this. Like, and I'm full on like I'm dying.
Oh
And so
no.
I'm like,
Oh,
John, I said, will you record these? And I remember going to bed one night and going up to Brittany like, I don't want to die. I'm
oh
too
no.
young. And I'm just freaking out.
Oh,
And
you poor
this is
thing.
the only time that I have ever like freaked out like this.
Yeah.
And I got because I hate going to the doctor, and I got a doctor's appointment like so this was like a 10-day period. And then I went to the doctor on the 10th day. But all the way up before then, I wasn't sleeping and I am writing out scripts on what my videos are going to be about to my children. And like, okay, I have to go get sperm saved so that we can have more kids. And I am just like planning out my death because I,
Oh no.
I know that I'm
You got
dying.
moles on your back.
Yes. And so I go in.
I love
The
that.
doctor looks at it and he goes, "All right, let me check it out." And he goes and he squeezes on it and he says, "Yep, it was a zit. You're good to go." I never felt like such an idiot. He's like, "It is the good one." He like shows me his thumb. He's like, "That was a good one." And I'm like,
Oh
"Ah." So so yeah,
no. Oh, that's pretty good,
I'm not
Jeremy. Oh
dying. I wasn't
no.
dying at that point. Yeah.
Well, I was telling you the other day, I actually had a cancerous mole that I had to get removed because when I was in high school, the story is actually kind of weird. When I was in high school, I would go tanning every day and I would go in the hottest bed and like for the longest possible. And I
Yep.
had this mole and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And so we went in to see, and they're like, yeah, that's precancerous. We need to remove it right away. So I go in to get the surgery to get it removed. And the doctor comes in and he's the sweetest man. on earth, and he's just like, how you doing today? And a lot of people where I live are religious and Christians, and it's
Right.
just, you can assume that 80-90% of us are.
Yeah.
And so he just comes up to me right before he knocks me out, and he's like, do you mind if I say a prayer? That's what I do. And I'm like, absolutely, go for
Yeah.
it. So he says a prayer, and I went to sleep. I wake up, he wasn't there, obviously. And they checked me out, went home, and then 3 days later, or no, that's when I went back. So I think it was the next day. I called, that's what it was. I called to make the next appointment to come back and check on it. And they were like, yeah, he died in a plane crash.
Who did? The guy that prayed for you?
Doctor. Yeah. It's like the
Oh,
last memory I have with him is him praying for me. And he died. He was such a wonderful man. He died on a private plane that he was going, because he uses his money to travel to poor countries and help them with their teeth and surgeries if they need it and stuff like that. So he was on one of those mission trips, and his plane crashed and killed him. Isn't that terrible?
that's very bad. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Like the last time I saw him, he was praying for me. I never talked to him again. It's just so weird that that's my last memory with him. He's such a nice guy. What a sweetheart, right?
That is. Yeah. Well,
Just uses his money and gives and gives, and his legacy will live on, that's for sure.
yeah.
Sweetheart. So yeah, be careful. I thought you were going to tell us about your third nipple.
Yeah. I can tell. I can talk about my third nipple.
Are you mad I brought it up?
No. The funny thing is like,
it's awesome.
but it's
so cool.
it's a birthmark. Like when I was born, I had this on my foot, and it's like a mole. I wonder if I could show it up on here.
It kind of looks like a nipple, though. It really does.
So you can't really.
You can see
It's
it.
raised. It's raised up a little bit.
Yeah, it
But
looks like a nipple, straight up.
it does. So when I was little, so I've had it on there like my whole life, and it just not recent. It's always had like a little raised part on there, and like the last 10 years, I just started telling people, yeah, it's my third nipple.
Yeah.
So it's always been a conversation piece, and it's kind of funny because then people are like, well, can I touch it? Sure, yeah, go ahead. Or somebody's like, get it away from me. It's like, all right.
Can I tickle it? Can I just?
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny. And so like when I went on TikTok, I tried to like make a thing out of it, telling people that like it gets hard during like, so I did a video where I have to wear like 3-4 socks so that it doesn't like get aroused and
it doesn't poke through.
Yeah. So, but no, it's a thing. It's a thing I've always had.
I think it's awesome, and I think it's where your magical powers come from.
From my third nipple on my foot.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah. It's closest to the ground. It's grounding, and that's where all the aura comes through. And
got your upper nipples to keep you from falling over, and the bottom ones to direct you where to go and feel the earth come through.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I love it. I wish I had something cool like that. I think it's cool. I just love when you sent it to me. It was like right after we met.
My third nipple?
I'm pretty sure it's the first picture you've ever sent to me. I was like, you have a third nipple? So you just sent me a picture, and it was like the day that we met each other or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what other questions you got? Let me hear you.
Should I just like pick a random?
Oh boy.
What's the number one rule in your house? Ours are going to be very different because you have children and I don't.
The number one rule in our house is no TV or electronics until 8 a.m. The reason why is because Anthony has everything saved on DVR. Okay. And he would like to, like, it got to the point where he would want to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning so he could watch this and get up before everyone else did so he could watch it in private and no one would talk to him and it would be all good to go. And he just kept getting up earlier and earlier. And so we had to put the kibosh to that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of we don't have rules because we're just
A
two people
couple. Yeah.
here. We don't have kids. He's not allowed to poop in the middle floor bathroom, which is this floor that I'm on right now. We have 3 floors and we have 4 bathrooms. And sometimes he poops and it's like really near the kitchen and it smells really bad and it lingers. And I have super senses, so I can smell things like 10 times as hard as other people, and same with taste.
Yeah.
So if he poops, I'm not kidding, I will smell it for the next 2 hours while I'm cooking in the kitchen. And then I'll throw up because I get sick cooking the food because sometimes the food smells like his poop. And then I'm like, am I eating poop or am I eating?
Wow.
It just gets, yeah, that's the only rule I can think of. And then also when we fight with each other, we're that really annoying couple that's like really baby talk and like lovey-dovey all the time. And so it's not really a rule, but always one of us will apologize after 10 minutes. Like we can't stay tense with each other. It just doesn't fit who we
Brittany
are.
and I don't really fight. I
Love
mean,
that.
it happens. Like we just got into one the other night
Mm-hmm.
about Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They're scheduled to come March 1st
Mm-hmm.
and March 1st through the 10th. And with the new COVID regulations where you have to take a test before you come, like 72 hours before you come back into the States and test negative.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know if she wants to do that because what if someone does have it and then you have to stay there
Yeah.
for another 14 days
Yeah.
until you can come back, and she doesn't want to get stuck there. And so like she's very cautious, and she's been very, very cautious all the way through, and I've been the complete opposite. Complete. Like I've lived my life and done absolutely everything. I follow protocols, I wear my mask, I do everything that I'm supposed to do that they require me to do, but I don't have that fear. She has that fear, and it is like debilitating for her sometimes.
Me too.
And
I'm the
I
yeah.
I have a I'm very empathetic, but I have a hard time being empathetic in something that I experience on my own end,
Mhm.
and uh, I just don't get it. Like I don't get why she has such that fear.
That's how Danny is too. I think
Yeah,
you and Danny are alike, and she and I are alike.
and
Yeah.
so it's just like so. Last night, I'm like, I just got mad, and I said, well. I'm putting my foot down, and I said, I'm putting my foot down. I've let you do whatever you wanted during this whole problem, this whole COVID, the thing that's going on. I've let you do everything that you want. Not do the Christmases, not have people come over. I said, we're going to Mexico. We're going as a family.
I'm putting my
And
foot down.
yeah, that's what I did. I did say that. I'm putting my foot down on this one. And then it was just like quiet for 5 minutes, and she says, "Well, I'm gonna let you know I'll go, but I'm not gonna like it."
And then it's just done.
So it was pretty much. And so then I'm just like looking up statistics. I'm like, look at the amount of people that have had it in Puerto Vallarta versus Minnesota. Look at the amount of people that have had it in the whole state of Jalisco, which is where we go. Jalisco is as big as Minnesota and Iowa combined. The
Mhm.
majority of all of the cases are in like Guadalajara, which isn't by where we're at. I said, and their safety protocols are so huge. And she's like, well, it's the plane that I'm worried about. You're having all of this recycled air, and you've got, and so
It's a hard thing. It's so hard
I,
for everybody
yeah,
to navigate through this. It's hard to know like who's telling the truth and who's not, and what's real and what's not. I get it. Like it's super, super hard. And so
yeah,
Danny's kind of you on that. I'm kind of on the side that it's like, well, better safe than sorry type thing.
That's
But
Brittany.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I
And
also understand the other point of view that's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it when people say, I've had literally people tell me, okay, but only this many people have died in Utah. And I was like, only? Those people have families, those people have
yes,
loved ones and children that they've left behind. Like, don't minimize it and say, oh, only 6 million died or only 6,000 died today or whatever. Like, don't minimize it, you know? But I
I
think there's a happy medium that needs to be found.
and I get that 100%. And I
Yeah.
agree with if people want to quarantine and if people want to stay in their house and if you want to do that, I am all for it. Go ahead, do that, but please don't tell me what I should be doing and where I should be going. And I'm a
Yeah.
grown ass man. I,
We all have to make decisions for ourselves and
yes,
do what we think is best, and that's okay.
yeah, and it's just on Brittany's end, she's thinking about the 3 kids
Mhm.
and the family and and I when it comes to Mexico, I think I look only at myself and like
Yeah,
the gratitude that I get of
yeah,
being there and how much it's like my second home and I will go to any means to get there and it's like I have a hard time accepting the fact that it may not happen for the family this year and it's like I
sucks.
can't accept it. So,
It sucks. I think as women, we always have um, kids on our brain. Like if I was a mom, I'd probably be the same way. But like I would also feel bad if something that because this is an important thing to you. It's not just going to Mexico just for fun. Like this is something you look forward to all year. Like this is
mhm, yeah,
time and this is your vacation and this is what you work so hard for all year to be able to
mhm.
do this. So I can see how frustrating that would be on your side too. Like it's so hard. The whole world sucks right now and I'm over it to be honest.
Well,
I
and
hate
yeah, and
I hate
we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow when it comes to fruition, we'll I've got there's all kinds of people that have all these conspiracy theories and I mean, I don't I don't get involved in any of that.
yeah.
I don't really um for me it's like I've lived through so many well as many presidencies as you have and it
Mm,
each one has never changed my life that
yeah.
much to be
Same.
able to affect me and
Mm,
so it's like I figure the next 4 years things may change a little bit but
yeah.
I just want to get back to normal I just want to be able to live my life where people don't talk about politics uh,
Yeah.
75% of the day.
I'm just like, yeah, because we said we weren't going to talk about politics, but
Yeah.
let me just say this. Um, no matter which side you're on or who you voted for or whatever, what makes me upset is the way that people are treating each other because of their opinion on something.
Mhm.
And like I've seen family members just go off the rail and say horrible things to other people just because they voted differently or they believe in the vaccine and they don't or they wear
Right.
masks and like that's what makes me upset is the way that people are treating each other because over what so I've always been like, you do you, dude. It's your life.
100%.
I'm not gonna be here,
100%.
oh my gosh, you have to do this and you have to do this. Like we all need to take accountability for ourselves and make the choices for ourselves. It just blows my mind. I'm seeing people, their families are splitting up and it's never gonna be
Yeah,
repaired. And people are taking their own lives and people are like the tension that's in it's crazy right now. So
it is. It's
you know,
so sad, and I love everyone until you give me a reason not to, and I'm like the opposite of what a lot of people are, where they're like, "I don't trust you until you give me a reason to trust you." I trust you 100% until you give me a reason not to.
same. Yeah, I'm the same way, which can be
And
dangerous.
yeah, and it's like, so let me let me just love you. That's kinda how I am. Let me and people try and figure me out and like th- a lot of times when I go live or on different platforms, they'll say
I'll ask
Biden or
you.
Trump, Biden or Trump. And it's like, I'm not here to talk about that. I said, I don't want to divide my
Mhm.
following, and I want you to still like me for who I
Mhm.
am, because
You know
I'm
you know that half won't if you say,
oh yeah,
"I'm
either
never gonna,"
or. Yeah.
that's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I'm with
And
you. I love people to death, and I trust them until they give me reason not to. Um, for me, it's like I wish the perfect world because I'm so empathetic. I think you are too. You can feel other people's hard feelings, and it's hard for me sometimes to not take them onto myself and not, you know, if someone is telling me like, "Oh, I'm going through this because of what's going on right now," it's hard for me to not take that on, and so it affects me in so many different ways, and it's just so sad. And I just wish it'll never be this way, but I wish the world would be like you and me and just put love first and not
yeah,
fighting and competing. It's just a big competition for power, and there's ways to go about this in a loving, kind way. And some people do try and do that, and I credit them for that. That's awesome when people try and do that, but it's getting ridiculous. I don't know. It's scary.
it's corrupt. It's the
Yeah.
corruption, and I think that people well, actually with social media, there is so many things that are available, and there's so many ways to manipulate
Things. Yeah.
what's going on, that you I was talking to a buddy today, like, you can go and find anything on the internet that will complement your opinion.
Mhm.
You can
Oh
find
yeah.
anything that you want to watch that will try and make your opinion be 100% valid, whether
Yes.
it has zero truth to it or not. And
And the
that's
funny thing is none of us actually know the truth yet because this is
exactly.
a new thing. So even doctors aren't totally sure. I have a brother-in-law who's a doctor, and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen because this is a new virus. This is
Mhm.
something that we've never experienced. So really nobody knows. We're all just trying to navigate through it the best that we
Yeah,
can and try and stay safe,
100%. Yeah,
you know? I don't know.
100%. And
I feel
I'm
like
just
how do you handle like let's talk about trolls for a second because I've been on the internet for
a lot longer than me.
6 years, I think, and well, on YouTube anyway. And at first, it took me a couple years to get to the point, actually longer than like maybe a year ago, I finally got to the point of like, okay, whoever's leaving these comments, obviously you are hurting and you need something and you need somebody and you need attention and you're lonely and you're probably being abused and you're probably abusing yourself. Like, I get all of that. And I feel like it's kind of added a thick skin. And you and I were talking about this the other day, like, because of the situation the other
Mhm.
day.
Yep.
Should I talk? I don't know what to say about that, but
Oh, I mean,
just a
it's
troll that's mean, and people are mean. And um, you brought me back. Like it's been a long time since I let it affect me, but this time I did, and I broke down, and you brought me back, and you were like, "Listen, this person is obviously struggling, and just all you can do
so
is the best for somebody that is telling you basically that you're trash and that you don't deserve to live or have any happiness type thing,
right.
you know?"
So you have to, and again, I haven't been on social media all that long, but I've lived, and
Mhm.
I've lived to know people, and I believe that what they say, like, you can, within 15 seconds of meeting somebody, you can form an opinion on what you type of person that you think that they are. Um, and I think that I'm very good at figuring out people pretty quickly.
Me
And
too. Me
so what
too.
I do is I kind of look at the whole situation. Like, if a person has, if they're coming on and they're going to be saying something and they have zero followers, they
Mhm.
have a picture that's not representing them at all, or no picture at all as far as what they're going to be leaving these comments. So most of the time they have no content, nothing on there, and they're just lashing out. A lot of the times, because, well, a lot of the times they're kids,
Mhm.
and they are wanting attention that they're not getting attention at home, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, if this famous person, which I don't believe that I'm famous, but they think that if this person is going to give me any type of attention at all, because like I grew up in an alcoholic family, and so like I would, to get attention, like they would be drinking and you didn't really care what was going on. You would do anything so that you would get some type of attention. And so I'm thinking that a lot of these trolls, a lot of these people that are saying this, they just want their 15 seconds of fame. And 9 times out of 10, if you recognize them, because it'll happen in my lives, they'll be like, "Oh, you know, as a kid, you're just a fart head or something," and you're like, "Hey, hey, dude, what's up? What's going on? How are you?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't think that you would ever respond. You are my favorite." And it's like,
I do
but
the
then,
same thing. I'll just be like, talk to us. What's going on in your life?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
talk.
But then you get people that are older and their situations are a little bit more deep, and their cuts are a little bit more deep, and I still think that they have some issues that they have not gone through. And so I really try my hardest not to judge on that, and that it actually fuels me. And I told you that fuels me to dig deeper into that person, to be able to try and help them, because I know that they're hurting. People do not talk that way unless they're hurting. If you put a wounded dog into a corner, they're going to attack you because they don't understand why they're hurting and they don't know how to get help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there are a lot of people out there that are like that. And if I can help them in any shape, way, or form, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use my platform to be able to try and help them. And so like when they say these nasty things, it's just like,
And I think for
come
me,
on.
it went from like, oh, you're a fat crazy bitch. Like those comments don't bother me because they're clearly there just to insult someone. Like it's the ones that are very
Personal.
detailed. Yeah, and they like dig into your life. Like the story I told you, should I tell it? The worst
Sure.
comment I ever got. It's bad. So I was sexually abused by my dad growing up, and I also have dentures. I lost all my teeth to my eating disorder, and there was just this one person that just hated me for no reason, and just kept nagging at me and harassing me. And finally, they left a really long comment one day that said, like, this is the reason you suck. Nobody likes you. Just the longest paragraph of meanness. And then at the very end, she says, nobody really likes watching you for anything else other than to find out if you take out your teeth to blow dad. And so for me, it was like, you took my two hardest situations that I've been through, the losing my teeth and my dad. And that's what scares me, is people that study you enough to find out like how to get to you. So
Oh
those
yeah.
were the ones I'm trying to work on, because they still hurt. I never get mad or judge them. I'm like you, where my first thought is they're hurting, but it also does hurt. And so I'm trying to work past that. And
Oh,
it's funny, I had a sorry, I just thought of a cool story actually. So I was bullied in school because I was really overweight as a kid. I had binge eating disorder, so I would just eat and eat and eat. Like my eating disorder started at 5 years old, and I had binge eating disorder, and then that turned to bulimia at 14, and then dabbled in anorexia.
you have food or something behind you. I don't know what it is.
Cookies, he got me crumble. Do you guys have crumble?
Never heard of it.
Thank you. Oh, it's an amazing cookie place.
I think I need him in my life. Oh my gosh.
And they're like little mini cakes, basically. Ooh, that looks good. Thank you,
Oh,
honey.
and you're not going to share with me. You can't share.
I could. What?
For someone who's having a bad day. They said those ones.
Did you hear what he said?
Something about bad day.
Say it louder.
I said, hey ladies, my wife's having a bad day. What's the best ones to make her feel good? And they're like, this one and this one. Like, let's do it.
Love it. Love it.
Okay, you get brownie points for that one. Oh, he's so sweet. But so yeah, so I had this one bully as a kid, and he would just make like always scare me pretty much and be intimidating and treat me like crap and stuff. And I remember there was this one day we were all at the park, and we were up on this like hill thing, and there were probably 30 of us kids from school. It wasn't during school, but the park was kind of in our neighborhood, so a lot of my school mates would go there and we would play together. And I just remember standing at the top of the hill with all my friends, and I see him walk into the park, and I'm like, oh great, what's going to happen now? And he comes up to the hill where there's 30 of us at least, and he pulls out a porn magazine, and he opens it to the centerfold where like the lady is completely naked, and he started pointing out body part by body part why my body is hideous, and why don't your boobs look like this, and she doesn't have fat rolls like this, and why are you so saggy like this, and why do you have no color, and why is your skin awful and hurt. Like he just literally just everything by everything, and not one child stood up for me, not one person said anything. So if you're out there listening and you're a kid, please stand up if you see somebody being
Yeah.
bullied, because it's traumatizing and it's hard. But what's cool about this is that fast forward, let's see, 6 years maybe into high school, because that was in elementary school, maybe like 5 years later. I was in high school. I was kind of new to high school, and I was the type that was like, I want to be popular, but I never will be, because who would want to hang out with me type of thing. And I was with a friend, and there was this flyer going around high school, or going around the high school, saying, okay, this is a party and everyone's invited. So we're like, that's cool. So we decided to go because we wanted to be popular. And so we go over, and the house is like kind of dark and there's not a lot of cars. We're like, that's weird, because we have hundreds of high school students. We're like, that's weird. Should we knock on the door? So we go knock on the door, and this guy answers, and he's like, hey. And I was like, hi, is this the party? He's like, yeah, you guys are first. Come on in. And again, I was too stupid to listen to my gut, but my gut was like, don't go in. So I go in, and so does my friend. And then he slams the door behind us and locks it, tells us to go sit on the couch. And then he was like, or I said, you know what? I actually have to go. We have to get home. He's like, no, you just got here. And I'm like, no, we need to go. And he's like, no, you're not leaving. And so he kind of like blocked our way, and he told us to sit on the couch, and he was scary. So, and we were young, vulnerable girls. So we're just like, okay, let's just do what he says, because I'm terrified. And so then they bring out what I think is a bong. What's the one that you can light and the drugs go into the air that can make everyone high, like a contact high? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like where you suck through like a hookah type thing, a bong. Yeah, I don't know.
Just one that he lit, and it
It's like
created.
incense. Oh,
No,
I don't
no,
know.
it was
I don't know.
drugs. And we started to feel loopy, and I started to be like, something's not right here. So again, we get up and try to leave, and they literally stop us and grab us by our shoulders and our arms and like push us back on the couch. And at this point, I'm sobbing and just being like, please just let us go. Like, we won't tell anyone what's going on. Like, just let us go. And they're like, no, you're stuck here, and you're going to do this with us, and we're going to whatever to you guys. And just like so scary. And then this guy walks in from the other room, and it's my bully from 5 years ago. And I hadn't seen him since then because he had switched schools. And so it's the first time I saw him since he bullied me. And he walks in and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he's like, oh shit, I know you. And I'm like, oh shit, I know you. And just like terrified. And he just stops and he pauses and he looks around. And then he looks to both of his buddies, the guys that were there, and he's like, you know what, guys, she's cool. Let her go.
Hmm.
So it's like, I feel like, I don't know. And then I also found out that he was being abused at home. His parents were addicts and alcoholics and being so abused at home. And so it's like, there's always a heart
Yeah.
somewhere in there with bullies. And it's so sad. And I don't know, that kind of just, and I actually saw him again like a year ago. It was so weird. We passed each other in the store. We didn't say anything, but we both knew it was each
Yeah.
other. And so my bully ended up saving my life later. Like, who
Wow.
knows what those guys were going to do to me, but he was like, okay, I do feel bad for what I did to you, and let her go,
Yeah.
guys. So they let us go.
That's
I
that's
know.
crazy. That's a
Crazy.
crazy story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
wild.
you
I
never
have a
know.
story that's not like that, similar kind of. But I have to go to the bathroom, and I will be right back, and I will tell it to you when I come back.
Or something.
Yeah.
Secret. Just kidding. How sweet the sounds that say a wretch I started too hard. Well, hi guys. How's your day going out there? If you're listening, what's up? I'm really awkward and we love you. And thanks for being here with us. And be sure to go and follow us on all of our platforms. Follow Jeremy on TikTok, on Instagram, Jeremy from TikTok, my Instagram, educating_Shanny, my YouTube, educating Shanny. Go subscribe, go follow, do all the things. And we're just follow both of us because we're both going to be in each other's lives at least once a week. So if you like me, go follow him. And if you like him, go follow me because we're kind of partners now. So you should go do that. And then, and then you can send us questions if you'd like. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave questions in the comments and we can do like a Q&A. And what else should I say? Anyone here from the live stream that has a question real quick? Anybody? Maybe I don't know. But Jeremy's wonderful. And I'll just say this while he's gone because I get nervous sometimes in front of people, but like he's so wonderful, guys. He literally saved my life. I've been in a really bad place and I kept telling him over and over, I cannot do this. And he's like, yes, you can, and it's gonna be good. And he just has faith in me and he's wonderful and he's back. So I need to stop talking all gushy about him, but he's wonderful. So and then the priest told the chocolate, oh, you're that.
I wish I knew what was happening. I wish
You can go back and watch later if you like.
I have to tell you something. I was on my live on TikTok the other night, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I left, and they're like, "Yeah, I can tell you're a true TikToker. You're back in less than a minute because all TikTok videos are."
Yes. And
So,
notice how I take like 10 minutes to pee because I'm used to 10 minutes. Did you say you had a story or should we?
I do have a story. So I came from Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is, well, right now over 100,000 people, and we're very there's a lot of there's a lot of people, there's a lot of culture, there's a lot of different ethnicities and so you're mingled. And I moved to a town in central Wisconsin that was pretty much farmers, all white. I mean, it was 100%. And I went to school there, and that was back in the time when hammer pants. Do you remember hammer pants?
Mm-hmm.
Were like the thing. But not in this time. And it was nothing but Wranglers and
Yeah.
I mean, it was a farmer town. And so I'd wear my hammer pants but it was like I told you before, like I was a chameleon because I would wear my hammer pants, but I also had a mullet. I had my sides shaved down, and I had a spike, and I looked like a skunk because my babysitter dyed it, and I looked like a skunk.
Oh my gosh, do you have a picture of this? I need to see this.
I need to look. I think I do. I think I have a picture of this. And so I went to this school, and this kid was constantly bullying me, like just because I was small. Like so this was in sixth grade, but I remember how big I was in sixth grade. But I went into high school. I was 4'11", 90 pounds going into high school.
Really small.
And this was in eighth grade. He was always just bullying me, and like he'd be like, "Hey, you want to fight?" I'd say, "No, I don't want to fight you. You're like way bigger than I am. Why would I want to fight you?" He's like, "Well, we're gonna fight." And so he came out because I was in track, and he came out to one of my meets. And at the end of the meet, he's like, "Hey, all right, everybody's around. He's like, let's fight. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And I'm looking up at him. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I'm like, all right, if you're gonna fight me, let's fight. And he just broke down crying and took off running towards home. And I followed him home. I'm running after him.
Mm.
I'm apologizing for making him
Oh,
cry. Like, I'm feeling bad for making him cry. And he runs home. He's just calling me all the names in the book. And then, so this was in 8th grade. 2 years later, because he was a little overweight at that time. And 2 years later, he even grew taller and he starts lifting weights and is like this big, I mean, he's a big guy. And like he's 5'10" and I'm still 5 foot nothing. And he comes up to me in the locker room and he goes, "You remember when you made me cry?" And I said, "Yeah, I remember that." He goes, "Yeah, and then you followed me home and even made me look like a worse of an idiot." And I said, "I followed you home because I felt bad." And he goes, "Well, we're going to take care of that now." And I go, and I looked at him and I said, "See, I'm very quick at what," and I said, "Oh yeah, that would look real nice." I said, "Yeah, look how big you are." I said, "Look how small I am." I said, what are we trying to prove here?" I said,
yeah.
"What do you?" And then he like smacked the locker and he's like, "You're right." He's like, "Yeah, whatever." And then he's like, "Just get out of here." So I
Gee.
left. 2 years later, I was friends with a group of girls that he liked one of them. And we started talking. So this would have been our senior year of high school. We started talking. He's like, "So, what do you think of her?" And I'm not naming names because I don't know what's going to happen here or anything. But
Yeah.
he's like, "So what do you think of her?" And I'm like, "She's a good friend of mine." He's like, "Well, I'd like to talk to her." And then we just started talking, like a little, and we started talking about like the past and what happened, and um, like how stupid it was, and how the different situations that were going on in our lives. And so it went from 6th grade until our senior year in high school, and we became absolute best friends. Still to this day, he is my best friend. Um, like
Can I pause?
hip. Yeah, I think you paused a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, to this day, he's my best friend, and I don't know how that happened. Um,
Yeah.
but it was just something where you know, uh, we just ended up talking, and like I named his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking and he's like, what, I need to name her. What should I name her? And I ended up, yeah, I named his daughter. And so it's crazy. And we still, yeah, still to this day he's my best friend. So it's nuts. And you froze again. I don't know what's going on, but you're completely frozen. And you came back. You're back here. I can see you. And then you step back and
I hope it doesn't freeze again.
yeah,
But I
you're
was going to
good.
say, there was this other girl that would bully me in high school, and she was so mean to me and just would, we don't need to get into it. She was so, so mean. And about 3 years ago, I went to an Eating Disorders Anonymous group, which is just like Alcoholics Anonymous, but for eating disorders. And she was there. And I heard her tell her whole story of how she ended up in prison because of drugs and abuse and getting out of an abusive marriage and all this stuff. And it's just so, I don't know. I just think there's something special about reaching the heart of somebody that you can't reach, or it seems like you can't. So like with you and your friend, I just think that's so cool. Like somehow it worked out the way it was supposed to, and who knows, maybe you helped each other more than you even knew you did, you know?
Yeah, and that's where I think it's like you have to everyone has a you do not know what that person's situation is at home. You never ever know that situation. And so when they say, don't judge a book by its cover, color either, both.
Yeah.
Um, you have to look beyond that. And your first impression of a person may not be a good one. Maybe that person is trying to put on this facade to impress you, and it just completely bombs. And like you see movies like that all the time, like where they're just like, oh, they're trying to impress that person, or there's just so many different things that are going on that you don't know. You never do know, and that's where I invest myself in everyone that is in my circle, and I've said, I don't know if I've told you before, but my circle is pretty small, but
Yeah.
once I have those friends, you will know everything about me. I want to know about you. I will ask those questions that are hard to answer questions. I will, because I want to know, like, like what's going on. I want to know about you. Like, I am the first person, like, well, how are you today? And they'll say, oh, I'm doing good. I'm like, well, no, how are you? Like, really, how are you? And it's with people, they don't know how to take me at first, because it's like, I'm the jokester. I like to have fun, but then I am the one that is there for you 100%. And that's where, like, my friends that are in my circle, every single one of them are completely different.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is, I don't think that my friend, like the ones that are in my group, none of them are friends with each other. Like, they find it hard to be friends with each other because they're all
Yeah.
so different. And it's
I
like,
bet.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't like, I can only handle him for so long, and I could only handle her for so long. And it's like, I get that, but
Yeah.
I spend time with them on a different level than what you do. And it's I try and find, the good in everybody when they show their fangs.
I wish the
So,
whole world was like that. You never know what someone's going through.
and it's not easy because there's, like, there's
Oh,
times you just want to tell people to get fucked,
yeah,
just you
sure.
just and
Sometimes I'm not in the mood. Sometimes I'm in the mood. Most of the time, I'm in the mood that if somebody's rude to me, somebody I don't know, I just encountered throughout my day, I always think to myself, maybe their pet just died, or
yeah.
maybe their divorce was final today, or something like that. But there are those few times where I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
shut up and get out of my face because you're an ass. And
I have another story. Jeez, I have so many stories.
that's what this
So
podcast. It's
so
so good.
I John's son was going
Mhm.
to Europe for school,
Okay.
and he was, I don't know what it was, but they were going to like 8 different countries, and he needed to raise like $1,600. And so we went to the county fair and we put up a booth. And this was probably, I don't know, 2010. I think it was like the year before Anthony was born. And we set up this booth, and all of the proceeds that were going to be made at this booth would go towards his trip that he had. And there was this, and I don't know, he was a pastor. I don't know what religion, I don't know what he was, or what denomination he was from. And I was a born again Christian in 2004. So I went to Bible college. So I was very knowledgeable in the Bible and all of that. And he did not agree with the name of my company, Kick Ass Beef Jerky, at all. Did not agree with it. And it was like the most legalistic thing that anyone I've ever
Right,
seen.
'cause ass
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it said ass. So BJ was Brandon was helping me out in my booth, and he would stop him every day and say, you know, promoting that name is not a good thing. And I'm sure it's a good product, but it's, you really should not, involve yourself in something as harsh as a name like that. You need to turn yourself away from that. And he would ignore him. And then he would come to me, and he would walk by and see all of the customers at our booth and say, "Oh, no, it's a good thing, but a shame it's got that name," And he would just say all of these nasty, nasty things, and I would just blow it off. Well, and we were there from 10 in the morning until 10 at night, Wednesday through Sunday, and Sunday it ended at 5. So my dad, who was very, very, tells it like it is. My dad, there's no holding back at all. He comes and picks me up in this cube van that we have. Because remember, I told you we started with the Ranger and then in the Silverado, and then we had this cube van. And he comes to pick me up at the end when like the demolition derby had gotten over and everyone's pulling out of there, and we had loaded up our truck and we're pulling out. And it says Kick-Ass Beef Jerky on the side of this. And I'm telling my dad the story. Well, we're only going as fast as a person can walk to get out of there because there's so many people leaving. And I'm telling him, and I'm like, "Dad, this guy was just terrible." And I'm like, "He just upset me so much." He's just saying all these things, and he's like, and Brandon has an impressionable, like he's easily impressed, and like he shouldn't be saying this, and he's like a religious figure, and he's like, "Just let it go, just let it go." And the guy comes up and he walks by us, and he goes, "It's a nice truck. It's a shame that it's wasted with that lettering that's on there." My dad looks over at him and he goes, "Fuck you." And here he is telling me to let this go, like let it go. And I said, and I looked at him and I said, "Now you know." And it was just like clockwork. I mean, he's telling me to let it go, and then he just lets the F-bombs out, and I'm like, yeah. So
what did he say after you're like,
well, no, he shook his head and threw his arms up in the air like that's what I expected. That's what's typical of someone like you. And I didn't give that to him. I didn't give that to that guy that whole week. I did not give in to his words and what he was saying. And Dad just, that's all he had to say. And it was, and he will even love that I told this story.
Oh, I love your dad already. I need to meet him too. Goodness. Well, should we do one more card and then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. These are all really good. Hold on. Sing for a minute while I look for a card.
I can't sing at all. I can't sing one bit.
I'll leave you.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Beautiful. Just grab one.
What 3 items are always on your grocery list?
Milk, eggs, tortillas.
Tortillas.
Always. Yep.
Nice. Love that.
Yep. How about you?
Enemas.
Well, that's not you don't eat enemas.
It didn't say eat. It just said, what did it say?
Grocery is
grocery. Well, but we buy enemas at the grocery store. They're kind of food.
No.
It's natural. It's water, Jeremy. Look up enemas. Have you ever done it?
I have stories about enemas too. Yeah.
Oh, I have. Go ahead. I can't poop about them because.
I mean, I don't have. Well, it's a short story. It's a short story, and I'm interrupting you. So go ahead, enemas. Go ahead. What else?
Huh? You tell yours, and then
okay.
And then I'll
mine is just kind of funny. My sister will probably listen to this at some point, but I don't think she'll care about telling me the story. And she's like, no, it's not an enema. It's a suppository. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, they have those too.
Okay. So she said to me, she's like, "Jeremy, you would not believe how magical a suppository is. She goes, I think that you and I should sit in different bathrooms and put one in and see who can hold in poop the longest.
I love that.
And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, you can't. You can't. And I'm like, wow. We never did that, but this was probably like, I don't know, a while ago. I don't remember what it was, but she's like, yeah, I think we just need to have a contest.
Is it weird that I've played that game with myself?
Yeah. You counted how long it would take.
And I'm like, okay, can I make it 5 minutes? Can I make it 6 minutes? The longest I've ever done is 10 minutes, and that's like dangerous. Don't do that. You're supposed
Yeah.
to go right down the urge. Oh
Uh-huh.
my God. And those are awful. Can I take a minute to educate real quick to
Sure,
anyone
yeah.
else?
Let make it. I don't know anything about them.
Okay, so I have gastroparesis, which is where my body stopped digesting on its own. And it's because of my eating disorders, where my body wasn't used to holding down food. And so my bowels got really lazy because your stomach is like, okay, bowels, we've got some food, get ready to digest it. And the bowels are like, okay, we're ready, we're ready. And then I would throw the food back up. And so I'm just like trying to, I'm not, am I telling a children's story right now? Why am I telling it like this? But anyway, so the bowels are like, oh, when are we going to get food? When are we going to get food? And it doesn't happen often. And so they just get lazy and they can't, it just stops working. So you have to take all kinds of medications and use enemas. And some people get to the point of the ostomy bags having to get hooked up to your stomach. Thank goodness I haven't gotten that far. But that's one of the little things that nobody thinks about with eating disorders, is that you're not nourishing your body, you're not digesting, you're not metabolizing, and so your bowels just get lazy and they stop working completely, and then for the rest of your life you can't poop on your own. It sucks. And like, I just wish, like, these are the things that I'm just like, everyone needs to know, losing my teeth, that could be guessed, right? Anybody would think, oh, she's throwing up acid all the time, she would
But
lose her
nobody,
teeth.
see, a lot of people don't think that. They think, the majority of people think meth head, crackhead.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
for sure.
That's what would go through my head. Like if
Yeah.
someone had messed up teeth, I would think meth head, what they're on meth. And that's where, like, when you had talked about this with me, where I wanted to get in is like there are so many things that are happening that people don't know about. And if I can use my platform to just educate a small amount more people, I would love to be able to do that, because it is so much more than what. And I talked to my sister about that as well. And she's like, that's why she chose the profession that she's in. And like that's her, what
Your
she
sister,
does. What's that?
your sister helps people with eating disorders?
That's her job. Like, yeah,
What?
she is a psychiatrist. She doesn't prescribe. I think she can prescribe, but
Like
yeah,
the one that talks, or the one that talks to you or diagnoses you?
she diagnoses. Yep.
Okay.
And her field of study was marriage and family counseling, but she specializes in eating disorders. And like that is her number, that's what she does. And
Have her on here.
well,
We
I want to and like I completely love my sister to death.
yeah.
And like her and I have been like super, super best friends. And it was a little hard for her that I am doing a podcast in the field of her study.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because, and I hope she sees this because I'm going to go into it. And because I have never showed interest in her work.
Mhm.
And
Okay,
I
so
think,
she's
and she's like, well,
yeah.
this is my work. This is my job. She goes, how would you feel like if I did a podcast on like beef jerky, or, that was something of yours? And I
And ask
said
them,
to her, and
and
what's
if you
that?
ask somebody else to do it with you instead of
Yeah,
asking her. Gotcha.
right. And I said, I did not seek this out.
Yeah.
This was
Just felt
not yeah, this is not something that I sought out. Um, and it's not something where I ever thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do a podcast that is someone that has an eating disorder and this is, what's gonna be part of the premise of the whole thing." Um, for me, it is when I came onto TikTok and I had said this, um, where people that the jokes that I have done had changed their lives and had taken them from a sad part in their life and had changed their outlook on different things. And then I had met you and how you had talked about your eating disorder, and then a friend of mine that has similar issues where I want to.
that was the first thing you said. You
Yeah,
were like,
yeah,
it's all about timing, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's like I wanna yeah, right, I wanna learn more about it, but then I wanted to learn more about it for my own perspective, but then when I learned a little bit more about it,
Mhm.
it's like, this is way, way bigger than what people even know about,
It's
and
huge.
the issues that take place are way bigger than what anyone even knows because no one talks about it. And so I it's like with Bridget, my sister, that's her name. I feel like she didn't talk to me about it because she probably didn't think I cared,
Yeah.
but I didn't I didn't know. Like I
Did
didn't know to care about it.
did she have an eating disorder at any point?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I wonder if that's why it was hard for you. Because um I've got people in my family too that it's they it's hard for them to talk to me about it, because they don't know
Yeah.
how to help. So um maybe that was your case. I don't know if
Well,
you
my thing was is like I just I didn't know anything about it. And like she used to work with schizophrenics. And I'm going to tell you some stories about that. I mean, that'll be at a different time, but she used to work with some schizophrenics and those stories were amazing. I mean, they were hilarious. And like for me, it's like I personally, if I was in her position, I would be egging these people on, and she has to keep a straight face when someone's pooping out the side of their window
right.
and saying that it wasn't them. Um,
Oh, oh no. Oh
um,
no.
um,
Adults? Is that
oh
an
yeah,
adult? Oh
yeah,
no. Oh,
yeah,
that's so sad.
yes. So I mean, so she is like those kinds of stories, like
Yeah.
I was very interested in because it was comedic to me,
Right.
but then it was things that like we could talk about and we could relate upon on.
Right.
Um, but with this, again, I think that it's like stigmatic. Like it's like people just don't really indulge in it. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a hidden thing, and I think even like the people that are in the counseling world don't really bring it out as much because they think that people don't care. And me, I looked at it as like the impact on your life because I saw from your story and what you're saying. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is something that should be talked about more.
Yeah.
And like with her, this is her job, but I really do want to bring her on because I know that she could help a lot and she could talk about a lot of different things that I don't
Yeah.
know about.
If
But
she's not comfortable coming on, I would completely understand that. It's such a hard topic to deal with, and it was really like unbelievably terrifying for me to do it the first time and to just announce to the world that I have an eating disorder and that I need your help getting better and please support me, and it worked. It took 5 years, but it worked. And it took every ounce of bravery that I had in me to do it. But once I did that, like I posted how I did it was I posted a picture on Facebook of before my eating disorder and after. And the before one was bigger, like probably 80 pounds bigger. And then the after was like lighter. And the post, and I basically outed myself, and I was like, dear eating disorder, like, fuck you. And
Yeah.
it, I lost the weight that you wanted me to wait and or lose, and now you want me to lose 10 more and 10 more and 10 more. Like, I'm done with it. I'm exposing you. I'm getting it out there. And I cannot tell you how many people messaged me from high school that I hadn't spoken to in over a decade, were messaging me being like, thank you for talking about this. I struggled with this. I still struggle with this, and I don't feel alone now. And it's just crazy what it can do if you can get past that hard part of sharing. And luckily for me, I'm way past that now. I'm comfortable sharing anything and everything because I just want to warn so many people. It destroyed my life. I can't even have kids because of it, and destroyed my body. Is such a mess, and just everything. And also taking away the normal, people have looked at me, and I can't tell you how many doctors, which is really shameful on their part. If I tell like a new doctor, hey, I have eating disorders, they literally look at me and they look up and down my body and are like,
They don't know. Yeah.
like, not all people with eating disorders are skeletons. There's a whole, it's so complex. There's so many other pieces of it. And yeah, some of them are skeletons, and some of them are overweight, and some of them are whatever. And I'm just like desperate, I guess, to try and save as many young people out there from having to go through what I went through, because it destroyed my whole life. It destroyed anything I ever wanted for myself. And I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I will spend the rest of my days just trying to warn people and also bring people together. And it's awesome in our community because so many people are going through similar things. And so then they become best friends, they become family, to where they didn't even have family before. And now all of a sudden they have family. And it's the most beautiful, fulfilling thing. And I think that's probably the best, your favorite part of being a creator, I would guess too, because you're like me.
It's connecting. Yeah.
And it's so important. And all it takes is somebody being brave enough to speak up for millions of people to be like, oh, I'm not alone. I can talk about it. This person talked about it, so I can too. So cool. Hey, mom, I need help. Hey,
Yeah.
dad, I need therapy. Like, oh, Shanny talked about it, so I can too. And, yeah.
It was like when we first started, like when we talked about doing the podcast, and I would go live and um on TikTok, I had people reach out to me, like big TikTokers that had reached out to me and said that they struggle from eating disorders and they would love to be on, to be a guest. And I'm talking big, yeah,
Yeah.
like big, yeah, big people that I think,
Bring them
uh,
on, dude. It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
They could have a big impact. And that's why I'm grateful that you're willing to do this with me, because I have an audience, but you have a ginormous platform, like huge. And you're going to be, as the weeks go on, you can ask me anything about anything, mental health, eating disorders, and you're doing your part to educate the world by doing that, because you're asking all the questions that nobody dares to ask, like you're
mhm,
asking what a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know anything about eating disorders except you get really skinny or something.
right,
But
right,
you get to think outside the box and ask me whatever you want, whenever you want. And you're doing a huge service to our community. And we are forever grateful in my community for you, and that you're willing to talk openly about this, because I've been trying to grow my platform for as long as I can.
hmm
But it just means a lot to me that you wanted me to come on here and that you wanted to talk about it. It's something that I've been trying so hard to do for so long. And now I feel like I'm doing it, but we can do it on a greater scale, which is just awesome.
yeah. And then being able to just like talk freely and bring in like everyday life stories, and then fit it all in there. And yeah, it's gonna be magical. It's gonna be magical.
Like, you have the cold. If you have a cold, what do? You go to the doctor, you get an antibiotic, and you feel better. When you have an eating disorder, guess what? That's just an illness. Go to the doctor and go to therapy. Like, there's no shame, and take care of yourself first, and know that you're worth taking care of, even if you feel, because of the way that the world acts about it, if you feel alone and left out, you're not. Join my community, join Jeremy's community, full of wonderful, beautiful people, and just know that you're not alone. out there, any of you. Okay, I'm done with my speech now. Your turn.
Okay. No, I'm like, yeah, and this is the perfect time to talk about like our other channels. Like you
Yes.
can follow me on Instagram, Jeremy from TikTok. My on TikTok it's Jeremy underscore Littell or Littell underscore Johnny, and then YouTube, Jeremy underscore Littell. My DMs are always open on Instagram. I have talked to so many people through so many different things, and I'm here for you. And um, I've said this before. When I started what I was doing, it was just to tell jokes, and I didn't realize it would come to where it is now, to where it happened last night. There was a kid that said his brother just died and he didn't know if he could make it, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I sat and talked to him for about 45 minutes, and it's like, um, to be able to do that for me, it's like people say, "What are you going to do with this fame? What do you want?" And it's like I don't feel that fame. I feel like for me, it's just a way to give back in ways that I hadn't had someone to give back to me. And if I can do that, it
That's cool.
that helps so
That's
much.
cool. That's so, so cool. You should
Yeah.
be proud of yourself. See, that's one of the reasons you're unique. You're a good, good soul.
So
And
what are
on the,
yours?
well, real quick, on the flip side, we just talked about the benefits of you coming into my community. So to my community that's listening, you guys all know that when I started coming out of or entered recovery, humor healed me. And so let yourself laugh once a day and go watch one of his jokes and just let yourself laugh. Don't let yourself be miserable, at least for a minute. And then eventually you'll start to want more and more good things in your life and you'll go searching for it and you'll appreciate it more. So that's why I'm grateful for you, because you're providing just an escape from what we're going through. It's just so freaking horrific that it's just a storm of just mental chaos in us. And sometimes it's just one little 20-second joke that kind of snaps us out of it enough to keep trying, and to keep wanting to come back and being like, oh, there's good people in the world that don't have to be doing this, but he's spending his time trying to cheer people up and make people laugh. And that makes me want to stay. And that's, you know what I mean? So it's important what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
What were you asking me?
I want to know what your accounts are so people can follow them.
Oh, educating underscore Shanny is my Instagram. Educating Shanny on YouTube. And I don't know what I am on TikTok. It's been a while since I've been on there. I think it's just educating Shanny. I think.
All right. All right.
I'll link all of our stuff below, though. I always do on every video. And if you're listening and you want to know, then just come and watch the video. And it's always linked in the description, all of our platforms and everything.
All right. All right. All right.
What a great podcast that was.
I think, yeah, we went, we're almost 2 minutes, 2 minutes. We're almost 2 minutes, 2 hours and 25 minutes, which is crazy. But no, I think it went great. And I'm ready for next week already. I mean, yeah, we're doing awesome.
While you're in the bathroom, I was telling them, if you are watching this on YouTube, tell us in the comments below if there's something you want us to talk about, and also leave questions, because maybe someday we'll do a Q&A or something like that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, take advantage of the fact that there's a comment section and just connect with each other and love each other and share what you're going through, and then any requests or questions you have for us, also leave those in the comments. It would be great.
Yes, please do. And again, you can always reach out to me or Shanny, and we'll do our best to get back to you and talk to you about what you're going through as well.
Yeah, we have a system in my community because I eventually had to do this because I was getting hundreds and hundreds of messages a day, like hundreds, and I can't do them all, right?
Right.
And we came up with this heart system in the community, which is every emoji heart, every color means something different. So a purple heart means anti-suicide pact, anti-self-harm pact. Blue heart is like, don't feel blue, feel happy. Yellow heart is a hug. I don't know the other ones, but anyway. And rainbow hearts, if I call for rainbow hearts, that means that there's somebody who needs to talk to somebody, but I obviously can't talk to all of them. And so
Right.
I call for rainbow hearts on a live stream or a video or whatever. And I'll just be like, hey, rainbow hearts, who can talk to Amy about blah, 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 rainbow hearts? And then people will comment rainbow hearts. And then the person looking for help will find the commenters with rainbow hearts and connect with them. And that's
Nice.
how our community works, because I can't possibly answer all of them. So
I like that.
just share with each other. And so
Yeah.
I have mad respect for you, though. You respond to, I think, all of your messages, right?
I try to. Yeah, and it's starting to get to be quite a few. And I'm doing, and I was talking about it with Danny, like about how I'm basically now I have the full-time business with Kickass, and I'm now a full-time content creator, and now doing, like you had said, like now I'm doing a podcast, and I have the family, and I'm I'm still managing. And I tell everyone, you got to give me 24 hours, and and you can kind of tell too when there's like some people that are just
Abusing that.
yes, and then you
I've,
can yeah. So
I've had to learn from that over the years. And because at first I was like you, I responded to every single person. And then I, I just had to tell people I can't respond anymore. It's not fair to pick and choose who I respond to. So I just can't respond. But I do try and read everything at least. And sometimes that's comforting enough for them to know
mhm.
that you know. So if you ever feel overwhelmed, they'll understand. Just explain it. And, you've got a family and two businesses and every, it's okay, Jeremy, if you don't respond to every message.
Right.
But I love that you try to do that. I think that's really
Oh,
admirable.
even on like YouTube, I just started my YouTube, and like I'm responding to everybody that sends a message. Yeah.
Well, that's good though, because that'll help your algorithm on YouTube if you respond to
Right.
everything when you first start. It's awesome. Should we end on something like more lighthearted? Should I pick a
Well,
card, or do you have a joke,
yeah. Pick a
Jeremy?
card. Pick a card. Let's see what we got.
Fun card. Dun, 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 dun,
I could wear my mask. No one could see it, but
dun. Okay, what's your favorite cartoon character? Should we try and guess for each other first?
wow. One just like when you said that, one just went straight to my head. But it's like I don't know if that
Okay.
is my favorite cartoon character, but it went straight to my head. Like, and I don't know why this character went straight to my head, but I'm just gonna keep it. I'm keeping it, and
Should I guess?
yeah, you go right ahead. He's old. It's old, old, old.
How old? Like older than me, older than you? We're
I'm
pretty
thinking
close
this.
in age.
I think they probably came out in like the 70s.
Mm, okay, I don't know. Um,
I don't
it's,
even know why.
is it a
When you
like
said this,
what is it?
immediately Fred Flintstone came into my head.
I love a Flintstone. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Now they are having time rain. Okay, try and guess mine.
Give me an
I'll give you.
age.
I'll give you a hint. It's not one in particular. It's a group of them. That doesn't help.
Care Bears
1990s until now, still going. That's a big
still
hint.
going. Cartoons. The
Mhm.
Simpsons.
Danny and I are obsessed with the Simpsons. We own all the
Really?
DVDs. I fall asleep to it every night because it's so mindless that you can just fall asleep. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Right on. Right on. All right.
Well, that was great. What was our outro going to be? Now I forgot. We had a meeting before this being like, our outro going to be, and now I forget what it was. I think.
It's gonna be where you say who you are. You're saying goodbye, and
Okay, so what I say at the end of all my videos is, "You're beautiful, you are worth it, and I am too." And what do you like to say, Jeremy?
I just
Did you
I
forget?
don't remember. Stay happy, stay magical, and make somebody smile.
Go. So
Yeah.
thank you for watching, everyone. We love you so much, and we will see you next week. Jeremy, take us out.
Yes. Much love, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
On Takes One to Know
It
Jeremy.
takes one to know one. Come follow us on It Takes One to Know One. We'll see you.
So we love you very much. Thanks for the support. Jeremy, take us out. You have to say the name.
Make sure to follow us on It Takes One to Know One. No? Yes? Did I do it? I did good.
Okay, just see you next week, guys. We love you.
See you next week. It Takes One to Know One. Love you.
Yeah, bye.